everybody. We got the new intro. We got the lightning going on in the background. But what you still got is the Cleat Geek Mike Valentine right here and my buddy Cheese off to my right. I know I hit a crazy button in the middle of me talking and I made all that crazy noise, but we're good now. We're good now. All right. So we've already got a couple comments. We already got things going. Cheese, how has your week been since we saw you last, buddy?
Indifferent. My week has been indifferent. If I had a nickel for every time you hit a crazy button, I would just be able to quit my job and do this full time. So, yeah, it's been an up and down week, but I know everyone wants to know, but I am still alive in my Survivor League, so that's good.
That's good. Actually, I think we are going to try to do a Survivor League as well. And I forgot to ask you off the air, and I'm not going to ask you on the air. I'll wait. We'll announce it later on in the week if we're going to do something special on Monday night. So we'll keep that to ourselves. I don't know if Cheese can figure it out by that, but he can give me a yes or a no if you know what it's going to be.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
You want to announce it right now?
If we're doing it, announce it. I'm definitely on board.
All right.
We talked about it before.
You know what? Before we get too far ahead of ourselves here, why don't we do the walk-up music, and then we'll announce this after the walk-up. How about that?
Do it.
All right.
Are you ready? 20 seconds start now.
Doing Night at Roxbury.
10 seconds remaining.
You have the hair for Night at the Roxbury, just so you know.
5.
That's not a compliment.
4. 3.
I hope I'm Chris Kattan. I hope I'm not Wolf Ferrell's hair.
1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with you. We are Lights Out Sports. I'm going to talk really, really loud because I don't know. This one won't turn down like I want it to in the background, but we'll just keep right on going. We're going to go with college football. Our very first segment of college football to start off in. We're going to look at last week's games and what we liked, and this week's games and what we're looking forward to. And we're also going to look at the AP poll and what we didn't like there. And we'll jump into Major League Baseball. And we're going to spend some time there because it is the last week of the season. Big time playoffs. And we love every bit of it. So we will spend some time there in MLB. And then, of course, we will, before it's all said and done, jump into the National Football League with myself, with Cheese, and with all of you. Let's look at some comments. We got a couple of them over here, right? So, we've got more than a couple. Here we go. I'm not a very good dancer, so we may have to.
Well, John is a Cowboys fan, so we can make fun of him for that. So
okay. Well, that's great. And yes. You're like one of Cheese's 3 friends, so okay.
2.5.
2.5. Is he the half, or is he one of the?
No,
2?
He's one. No, John's
okay,
one.
Okay.
But
all right. We'll give John some credit. And of course, you got Ramen over here. She's put 2 things up. So we got that one, and then we got that one. So absolutely, let's get it. I like it. All right. So, you know what I forgot to do?
What did you forget to do, Mike? What did you forget to do? Did you not take out the trash? Did you not put it at the street?
No, I did do that. Okay. But I did, and I'm going to have to kind of scramble and look at it. Oh, no, I don't have to scramble. There it is. Yes. Okay. So I thought I forgot there for a minute that we were going to have to do because I didn't put the flame stuff at the bottom for our flaming 5 and 5. So yeah, we'll get that right away here. All right.
Cowboys Packers this Sunday. So me and John some angry texts back and forth. Yeah.
Stop. So I will give you a little bit of a hint. that will be part of the Flaming 5 in 5. In fact, that'll be the last thing that we look at.
Ooh, and I won't have much time left probably, and that's a big question. I could talk forever on that.
Yeah, if he does all of that,
I'm in trouble.
The Cowboys and the Packers, if he does all of that, then we'll talk about that question a little bit more. So let's take off all of these guys here right the moment. Let's put ourselves over here. Get ready to put up this countdown. If you guys haven't been to this part of the show yet, here's the way this works. It is the Flaming 5 in 5. That means Cheese gets 5 minutes and 5 questions. And if he can answer all 5 of those questions in the 5 minutes, then we'll talk more about that 5th question. And if not, him and his studio will burst into flames. And we'll see how all that works.
I prefer that not happen.
Okay. All right. Well, then you need to watch the timer and be a little proficient about your talking then. So
that's tough.
I know it's very hard for you, but we'll see how that works. So, All right. I will read the first question, and when I do finish reading it, to give you a couple extra seconds, then we will start the timer. Cheese, are you ready?
Perhaps.
All right. Here we go. First one is a baseball question, and we're actually going to do an NBA question in here for a change too. So we'll throw that in there as well.
So that's great.
Oh yes, he's so excited. All right, sir. So according to Fangraphs, only 4 Major League Baseball teams have a 10% chance or above at winning the World Series. I will give you the 4 teams, and then you can tell me which one you would put your money on.
Okay.
Here we go. So these 4 World Series teams, again, according to Fangraphs, that have a 10% chance or above in winning the World Series would be the following. Toronto has an 11.2% chance. The Yankees at 13.6. I don't know why the Yankees are over the Blue Jays, but whatever. The Dodgers at 14.3. Don't understand that one either, but we'll talk about that a little more, I'm sure. And then the number 1 team that has the best odds of winning.
It's not the Phillies, is it?
The Seattle Mariners at 21.5%. So here we go, sir. You tell me which of the 4 teams you would put your cheese on.
Well, first of all, Fangraphs, they suck. That's insane because and I know baseball playoffs is a free-for-all, especially with the bye now. 2 years ago, Arizona Diamondbacks played the Texas Rangers. I guarantee you they didn't even have a 3% chance, either one of them. So 10%. Baseball has so many upsets. It's about getting hot at the right time. I haven't even started answering your question. I just realized, but
yeah, that's okay. You're just wasting your own time, sir. You're going to burst into flames one of these times.
I'm going to pick Toronto. They have the lowest chance of those 4 teams. It's the Dodgers, Yankees. Yeah, I'm sure that Fangraphs is going to put them high. Yes, they have big payrolls, but Seattle has been playing out of their minds, but so is Cleveland. So is a lot of teams. The Reds, just because the Mariners are the hottest team, yeah. I mean, I get it. I was worried you're going to say Phillies. I really was, because come on. But I'm going to say Blue Jays.
Okay. So you're going to say the Blue Jays. Let's move on to your sport. Let's move on to football. Okay, and let me ask you this question. What does it say when the top rushing quarterback in football is Patrick Mahomes?
It says that they need some running backs in Kansas City. He is their running
game for the game overall, but okay.
He is their running game. Like his receivers aren't getting open. I mean, he's missing Rashee Rice. He is suspended the first 6 games. Xavier Worthy is hurt. Has barely played this year, so no one's getting open. So he's running for his life. So he's scrambling a lot because people aren't getting open. But his running backs aren't good either. But Mahomes always been a good scrambler. No, he's not Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick or anything like that. But he needs some more help.
All right. So that's what you're saying that it says, and that's fine with me. This is your segment, not mine. So let me go back to baseball for a second. Then we'll do the NBA, and then we'll do our final question in football. So back to baseball for just a moment. The Atlanta Braves are on a 9-game winning streak. You are a fan of the Atlanta Braves, so I'll ask you as a fan, does it matter?
This is the worst thing could possibly happen to the Braves. I mean, they were out of it months ago. And at one point, they had the 4th worst record in baseball and had a chance to win the lottery. And now their lottery odds go down and down, down every win. And they'll probably have a great week, and they'll probably end up picking 11th, 12th, 13th, something like that. Their farm system is bad. They really needed some stud college bat, in my opinion. They needed to pick in the top 3 or 4. So some people think, momentum, end the season. Oh, you finished well. No. No. In baseball, no. It's new season starts over.
So then it doesn't mean anything. Or if it does mean something, it's negative.
It means nothing.
Means nothing. All right, here we go. The NBA question. It's kind of an NBA question, but not really. Well, you'll see what I mean. So if you didn't hear, since I live here in Phoenix, I got all this information. The Phoenix Suns have brought Steve Nash back as a senior advisor. So my question to you is this. Do you like it when teams bring back older players and put them in front office roles?
I do and I don't. I mean, I don't like that someone gets the role just because they played for the team and they have total control. But as an advisor, sure, I think it'd be really good. But don't bring someone back just because they're part of the organization. Just give him the reins. But if he's just an advisor, I mean, Steve Nash, very smart player, very good player. As long as he's just an advisor, I like it.
Okay, and here's the final question.
Uh-oh.
In our 5 Flamin' 5 and 5, is it good for Green Bay if Micah Parsons is looking at this Sunday's game strictly as a revenge game?
Yes. It's good because it's going to motivate other teammates and he's going to want to beat them so bad. And they didn't even show up this past week at all. It was a joke. So they need to be motivated. I think they will be. And I think it's going to be bad for the Cowboys.
Yes. All right.
Barely.
And you got it. All right. Wipes the sweat off his brow as he completes the last question. All right, buddy. I like it. So let's talk about this game for a moment. The Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. Are they the 2 top fan bases in the NFL?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. There's just a lot of good fan bases. That's so tough.
It is. That's why I asked you.
I don't want to alienate it. I mean, there are a lot of teams with national fan bases. I remember before I had like Sunday ticket, I'd have to go to, sports bars to watch every Packer game. And there were a lot of Steelers fans everywhere, no matter what state. Best team. You got worked by the Bears.
And it wasn't like you got worked by the Browns. My team got worked by the Vikings. I mean, I think my team won. Okay. At
least the Browns have an unbelievable defense and the best defensive player in this era. Okay. At least the Browns have a good defense. The Bears have no defense. But she's gonna be in trouble for that one. But what was I saying? I
don't know.
idea.
Somebody distracted you. I don't know what you were saying.
I have no clue what I was saying. But no, the Cowboys Packers. Going back to what John said, Cowboys defense has been bad. It's been so bad that the Giants put 37 on you, and their offense has been terrible. So. I think it could be a long night for the Cowboys, but yeah, I have no idea what your question was. I've completely lost it.
That's okay. Oh man, I asked you about the fan bases. Remember?
Fan bases. Well, Steelers, Patriots, Packers, Cowboys. You go to those bars, and there's just those are the four teams that you can go in any city. I've been in multiple states and gone to, and you see just fans of those teams. I think those are the big four. A little bit Raiders, but I think it's dropped off a little because they haven't been very good the last 30 years or so. But there were some Raiders too. So they're up there, both of them.
Okay. So I want you to give us a not a score prediction, but I want you to tell me who leads at half. Something different. Who leads at halftime and why?
Well, the Packers do. Because they come out like they do. Their defense all year has given up, I think, 6 points maybe in the first half, the entire year, something like that. So the defense comes out, they'll be incredible. Cowboys do have a pretty good offense, but they're missing CeeDee Lamb. And they're also missing Tyler Booker, the right guard. Yeah. So they could be a little bit of trouble. And I think Packers win comfortably. I don't think it's a blowout, but they win comfortably.
All right. So we are going to jump into our college football stuff pretty quickly because I think we're going to be doing quite a bit here on all of that. So we're going to push ourselves over here to the side for just a second. We're going to go with a couple other things here. And we're going to go to our college football segment right now.
Spinning helmet. I really do.
Don't you though?
Dude. I got a couple friends that are Mets fans that are just messaging me about the game tonight. We'll talk baseball later, but it's 6-6 Mets.
We certainly will. We'll talk
Mets,
baseball.
Cubs 6-6 in the 6th. 6-6-6.
Oh. I don't know about that. Uh-oh. All right. Well, I know it was 4-2 because the Pirates scored 4 runs in the very first inning off Brady Singer for the Cincinnati Reds, and then Ellie De La Cruz hit a 2-run home run later on in the game. Last I checked it, in the 6th inning, it was still 4-2. So.
Well, the Cubs led 6-1. They're trying to blow it, but that's the Cub way.
That is the Cub way. It's also this will be the Reds way too, to actually get into the playoffs and then find some way to make it just all disappear. So, but well, again, you're 100% right. We will certainly talk Major League Baseball here in just a few moments. But first, sir, let's do college football spread offense. And our first question is this: what game are you most looking forward to in week 5 of the college football season? Cheese, I'll let you go first.
I would actually like you to go first, if you don't mind.
Well,
but did you have something you want to do? The thing is, I have 18 games written down.
I was pausing because I knew the music was getting ready to stop. So I would
like
pausing.
you to go first, if you don't mind.
All right. So I'm going to do this game because it's a Big Ten game. Okay. I'm a little bit more of a Big Ten fan than any of their other ones. So I'm going to stick with the Big Ten for a moment. And as we said last week, when we said Illinois and Indiana was a big game in the Big Ten, and we talked about those 4 teams, USC, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan. We were talking about how we didn't think all 4 of those teams were going to get in. And as they played each other, they were going to kind of knock each other off. And then we were going to figure out who that last Big Ten team was to get in. Well, if I said that last week, I've got to follow suit and say it this week because you have USC versus Illinois. So it is basically stats versus desperation, if you ask me, in this game. So stats, right? USC, Malaya, I believe is how you say their quarterback's name, 1,223 yards. The Illinois quarterback, Altmaier, has only got 855. So USC, a big leader in that stat. As far as rushing, USC, Jordan, 443. Illinois, Feagin is how we're going to say it, Feagin. He's only got 240. So a 200-point 200 rushing yard swing there. So stats again with USC. And if you look at receptions, Lemon for USC has 438 yards, their top receiver, and Beatty for Illinois only has 302. So if you look at this simply by stats, you're on a piece of paper, you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to take USC, and USC should win this game. But I think Illinois knows, and they're in desperation mode. If they lose this game, they're done. They might be done anyway. But if they lose this game, they know they're cooked. So they have to beat USC. This will be a great game of a team that has much better stats and probably much better players against a team that's in desperation, and we'll see if they can pull something off to get the win.
Yeah, Luke Altmaier, his stats may not look as good, but he played Indiana's defense, so which was incredible. So USC has not necessarily played anybody with a great defense yet, so I'll just say that. A little surprised. They're probably 5 to 7 games. I'm looking forward to more, to believe it or not, than that game. But that's like a sleeper game that could be really important down the line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do this. I'm just gonna go quick fire because Oregon plays Penn State. Oregon plays Penn State at Penn State. And the winner of this game is in great shape. The loser is not. Let's be honest. But they're also, at the same time, they're not done because it's 12-team playoff. When it was 14 playoff, the loser's game was probably eliminated.
Oh, there's no probably about it.
Yeah, no probably about it. But it's still a huge game. Indiana came off, oh my God, they just dominated Illinois. Shocking that it was that one-sided. They go to Iowa. That's tricky. Iowa is tough. I don't think Iowa wins. I think Indiana is a lot better. I think they have a lot more talent. But that's tricky. You never know. Arkansas, devastating loss to Memphis. Devastating.
Yes.
But they host Notre Dame. And they have a chance to knock them off. Arkansas can score points. We know they can. So that is a huge game. I haven't even started with the SEC. Okay.
Right.
Alabama, Georgia. Oh, my gosh. Alabama, Georgia, probably elimination game. Maybe not for Georgia because they beat Tennessee already, but Alabama really needs this game. They've already lost to Florida State. Tennessee is at Mississippi State. Just want to mention that just because Tennessee can't afford to lose it because they've lost to Georgia. Probably will win. You never know. Mississippi State did upset Arizona State. LSU, Ole Miss. 2 top 15 teams. LSU's offense just hasn't quite gelled yet.
They better hurry up.
I think, to be honest, I think this is a coin flip game. I really do. John, it matters. Lane Kiffin's going to want vengeance. I'm picking Ole Miss. Why not? I'm taking Ole Miss. Brian Kelly also is he's a mess right now. He can't talk to the media. And I have to mention Auburn at Texas A&M. And the reason is Texas A&M had this huge victory over Notre Dame. Huge. They're in the driver's seat. But Auburn is good enough to beat them. If Texas A&M doesn't play well, Auburn has enough talent. They played with Oklahoma at Oklahoma. They were winning in the fourth quarter. They have enough talent to beat A&M. They probably won't, but A&M's got to be careful. There are so many big games. I'm so excited. I'm so glad I have 2 TVs. And scene.
Well, even if you have 2 TVs, you're never going to be able to watch all of these games. So how are you going to do it?
I have a computer too.
Oh, okay.
I try to watch 3 actually, but this is the best. If you look, I looked at the whole schedule. This is the best weekend of the year. Obviously, it's rivalry week, but just looking at the matchups, this is the best, to me, week of college football season.
Wow. It's this early, but it's going to be the best weekend of college football.
Just everything I mentioned. It's so many games will decide so much later on.
All right. Now, I have to say this. I even like the Friday matchup. There's a good Friday night game this week. 2
Friday matchups.
Oh, are there 2? So,
yes.
I know the one because I'm really I don't know. I've got to talk to my wife a little bit more about this. I would love to go to the game Friday night here at Arizona State. What we got number It depends on which poll you look at, but I believe it's like number 24, number 25. TCU is at Arizona State on Friday night, which Friday night games are great. They're doing a blackout. It's almost like lights out, just so you know. But you know, it'll be a great atmosphere. What's the second game on Friday? Because I didn't know there was one.
I tell you what, you'll find out when we do our top 10 at the end of the show.
Oh, so we're going to have a top 10 at the end of the show, sir.
We're going to have a top 10, and I'm going to bring up this team, this one-loss team at the end of the show, and talk about their Friday night matchup. Basically, there's 2 Friday night games. There's an early one, about halftime, then TCU Arizona State will be on. And it could be more interesting than we thought. A top 10 team plays on Friday night. So 2 really good Friday night games. I'm so excited. So this week is spread out. I'm just like freaking out how good this college football weekend is going to be.
All right. Well, I can't wait to get into it too. Now, for those of you who are now curious, you're like, well, what's your top 10 going to be at the end? We are going to rank, ladies and gentlemen, our top 10 one-loss teams in college football. As Cheese gets the sip from the bright orange. Oh, it's Spider-Man, right? Yes.
Spidey.
Yes, the Spidey Cup.
Spidey.
All right. So let's move on here with our college football spread offense here. Week 4's biggest loser and winner, or winner and loser as it's printed on the screen. So let's see here. Let's do the biggest winner. Cheese, you want me to go or you want to go?
Biggest winner? I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
Memphis. Memphis beat Arkansas at home. They punched out a late fumble. They won 32-31. Why that's important is, if you do not know, in the 12-team playoff, one team that's not in the Power 4, the ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, gets to be in the playoff. And Memphis is in the driver's seat by beating Arkansas. They have 3 teams, to me, that are their toughest on their schedule, and they're all at home. South Florida, Tulane, and Navy. All of them are at home. So Memphis had the biggest win, in my opinion. What about you?
I like that. I tell you what, that Tulane-Memphis game is going to be a good matchup. Even though I understand it's in Memphis, but I will look forward to that game when it happens. My biggest win, and it's because of one guy. So let me just be honest with everybody right now, right here. I as most of you have probably seen, and if you haven't, I debuted a new show this week. It is Seeing the Whole Field. I did a thing on how we connect the Charlie Kirk stuff with sports and everything else. If you haven't got a chance to watch it, it's about 11 minutes long. I'm awesome. Actually pretty proud of that one.
It was really cool. I watched it twice. It was awesome. I
appreciate that. I really do. It's getting a lot of feedback. It's getting a lot of pubs. So hopefully, for those of people who are watching this right the moment here on Lights Out Sports, that you haven't got a chance to watch it, it will be on our YouTube. You can go there and see it. You can also go on to at Gloves Off Sports Media is our YouTube channel. We've switched everything over to the All Gloves Off Sports Media. There's myself, there's Cheese, there is Sirhan, and there is Ricky and Roger. We all have shows on that network. Please hop over onto that. And not only can you get Lights Out Sports like you are right now, but you can get all of their podcasts as well, as we have all joined forces on the same network. Let me actually answer your question, though. Texas Tech. Texas Tech had a big win, and it was because of Will Hammond. Will Hammond went, so their quarterback, Texas Tech, got knocked out in that game, and then Will Hammond came in, and he honestly almost single-handedly willed that team to win. So I was very impressed with Will Hammond. He went 13 of 16, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 169 yards, and a quarterback rating of 211.2. Pretty good day at the office for 2 quarters of Will Hammond. So I thought what Texas Tech did in that game really vaulted them up. And actually, we'll talk about them here in just a little bit when we talk about our AP Top 25 questions. That'll be an interesting topic. Basically, what we'll do is if Cheese and I were standing up in front of the AP Top 25 committee, what questions would we ask them about their rankings? And we'll get to all of those here in just a couple minutes. Cheese, you seemed like you wanted to say something, and I cut you off, buddy. What were you going to say?
No, I do want to talk about Texas Tech, but it's coming later in our notes. So
okay,
I'll save it till then.
more Texas Tech later. All right.
Yes.
So what about week four's biggest loser in college football, sir? Who would you say is the biggest loser, even though I'm going to bank both of us are going to take the same team?
I don't know if we're going to take the same team.
I think there's an obvious one.
Well, Clemson's the obvious one. I think that's.
Well, no.
No.
That wasn't who I was pointing to.
Clemson lost at home to Syracuse. They're done. They're done. I'll just take Clemson here. They're a disaster. And what's crazy is I watch Clemson. I've watched all but one of their games, and some of their pro talent, because they have as much pro talent as anyone for next year's draft, are actually playing well. But overall, their team stinks. Dabo, excuse me. Dabo Swinney, he refused to do transfers. Some of the teams like Miami, LSU have been remade by transfer portal. You got to use it. I think it's time to move on Dabo. Clemson's too old school. He thinks he wants to do it the way he's always done, and that's stubborn and that's stupid. It's changed. And he could have filled it. Clemson has some really good players, but they have some huge holes. And he could have filled those with transfers and refused. So Clemson, he can't even beat Syracuse at home. It wasn't even that close. What a joke. I don't think he survives this.
And he may not. He may not. I mean, there was another coach, that didn't survive over the weekend.
Mike Gundy.
Oklahoma State fired their head coach. Virginia Tech now has an opening. I saw Bruce Arians on the Pat McAfee show this afternoon or yesterday. I think it was actually yesterday, but he went
there. He went to Virginia Tech. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's old though.
But I love Bruce Arians from his Cardinal days and stuff.
He's not taking that job. He's retired from the NFL. He would have stayed in Tampa if he wanted to keep coaching. Yeah.
He could have. Well, I don't know about that. When Tom Brady came to Tampa, that wasn't a very good mix there. So I think they gave Tom whatever he wanted, and they just moved Bruce to the front office and something like that. So
good point.
I don't know. He didn't throw his hat in the race, but he said he was going to help figure out who was going to be the general manager and the next head football coach. And he threw out $50 million and said that Virginia Tech was throwing out $50 million. And then he kind of backtracked a little bit and said, for the sports as a whole and not just for the football team. So he threw some stuff out there that I'm not sure if he was supposed to on national television. So he may have just cost himself that job by just doing that. So, but let's stay on track here for a second. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
No, I just said, wow. No, you're good. Okay. Go ahead.
So for me, the week four's biggest loser was Illinois. They scored no points in the second half. Their running back had so Fagan had 18, Valentine had 11 yards, but their quarterback had minus 27 yards, so they had a +2 rushing yard for the entire game. He was sacked 47 times. Or excuse me, he was sacked seven times.
47 times. That's got to be a record, Mike. That's a lot of sacks. Wow.
He was sacked 7 times, for 47 yards, and then he threw for 146 yards. So therefore, he had a net of less than 100 yards, which would be 99. So
and he threw a 59-yard touchdown on their second drive. He was wide open. So that was 59 right there.
Right, and you thought I thought they were going to be off to the races.
I thought it was going to be a shootout. I thought it was going to be back and forth. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then it just, I don't know, something happened and it just died.
Well, I'll just say this.
Go ahead.
You cannot give up 7 points to start the game. Block, punt, return, touchdown. Indiana up 7-0. You gave them 7 points. You got to make them earn. You got to get the punt. So they gave them 7 points. But then they responded. It was 7-7. I don't know what happened. Indiana's defense. It looked like a blown coverage. But 7-7, you saw that, okay, look at Illinois responded. This is going to be a shootout back and forth, and Illinois did nothing after that. Absolutely nothing.
I mean, you know this. I work on Saturdays, so I don't get to see the games live. So I record a lot of stuff and come home and watch it. And I knew how the game ended, unfortunately. And when I saw the first few plays, I was like, well, how does this game end the way I know it ends? But, I mean,
Indiana just dominated the game. I mean, I actually turned away early third quarter and turned to Baylor, Arizona State, because Like, why
Which
am
was
I
actually
watching?
a good game.
It was. The fourth quarter was incredible. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, we will.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do this. So we're actually going to act like that Cheese and I are standing up in front of the AP Top 25 poll after they've released the poll, because I don't know about you, Cheese, but I got some questions about some of the stuff they did in this poll this week.
Of course you do. You always do.
Of course I do.
You hate the rankings.
I do. I am not a rankings guy. I just, or if I am, I want you to be able, it's kind of like religion to me, right? I don't care what religion you are, or who you pray to, or what you want to do. But if I ask you, why are you in that group, and you go, oh no, well, come on now. When you rank the AP Top 25 teams, I want to be able to stand up in front of you and be like, why'd you do that? And I feel like half these people who do this probably don't even watch half these games. And when you'd ask them, well, what did Cam Scatterbo do for Arizona State this week? They'd be like, oh, well, he ran for you moron. He plays for the New York Giants now. So, those kind of things, right?
Will Howard was great for Ohio State in that game. Yeah, he threw 3 touchdowns, right? Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and they didn't even play. Yeah. All right. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 questions for the AP Top 25 people. Okay. All right. And you guys could have questions for them as well. There's basically 50 people watching us right at the moment, live right here on Lights Out Sports with myself, Mike Valentine, and my buddy Cheese over there. Hey, while we're here, Cheese, what is your YouTube channel and how can people get a hold of you, buddy?
Yes, I am at Football with Cheese. Cheese is spelled Cheez. So make sure you check it out. I talk about college football, mostly NFL, but I talk about college football, NFL, and big focus on the NFL draft. You can also follow me on X at Football Cheese, basically the same thing without the with.
Yes, so without the with.
Yes, just
sounds
football.
Like a very terrible rap song.
But yeah, check out my channel, subscribe, hit the bell, all of that. I do 3 or 4 videos a week, but you never know. When something big happens, I could do an instant reaction. You never know.
All right, and we love instant reactions, sir. You should do more of them.
You should see my do you see my Michael Parsons one with the cheese head on everything?
Yeah. I mean, John, we might have to have you do an instant reaction if the Cowboys beat the Packers on Sunday. So
I would not like John to do a reaction to that.
No, I was wanting you to do the well. You know what? It probably would be better if John would do the reaction than you. So yeah, we'll keep that.
If they lose, I will not do an instant reaction. But I might start doing more Saturday instant reactions to college games. I might start doing that. We'll see.
Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. All right. So, do you have anything that you would like to ask the AP Top 25 people, or am I going to do this segment here, buddy?
I think you pretty much. I'm not as big into the rankings as you are because I think it just matters where you finish. It matters about the playoff. Like it. Yeah, John, you wish. I need to have John on here though. It wasn't good. We need to have John on here because he's a fun dude and he can talk about sports all day long. But
all right.
I really don't. The only thing is, why is Texas in the top 10? I mean, they haven't done anything. They lost to Ohio State. I mean, they're behind Indiana, who just blew out Illinois, maybe. Maybe Texas is too high. Other than that, I don't care who's ranked 23rd or 25th. So Alabama moved down 3 spots without playing.
Right.
But they got dominated by Florida State. So maybe just Texas a little too high. That's it.
Okay. All right. So let me do it this way then. I will pretend, sir, that you are one of the people ranking these AP Top 25 polls, and we'll do it that way, right? So did Miami deserve to jump up to number 2 with a win over an unranked Florida team?
I would not have put them 2. No, I'd still have Ohio State, Penn State, and probably Miami 3rd. I would have them 3rd. I would not have them 2nd.
Okay. I'm with you. And I think it would have looked a lot better this weekend if you'd have had, we were having the Penn State, Oregon. I'm not the conspiracy theorist guy, but if they would have left him alone, you would have had number 2 versus like number 4 or 5 or something like that. So that would have looked a little better.
5 in one poll and 6 in the other. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where Big Noon Sunday is going to be on Fox this weekend. So yeah, that game should be a lot of fun.
And you know what kind of sucks is they're playing the same time as Georgia, Alabama, but I have 2 TVs. So
there you go.
So I have 2 TVs right
here. Okay. Should Oklahoma have moved up more than 4 spots after beating the 23rd ranked Auburn Tigers?
No, I think it's fine. I think it's about right. I don't really have a lot of problems with rankings. What do you think?
I'm not sure how good Auburn is. If I thought they were a little bit better, I would be squawking a little bit more for Oklahoma, but it's almost too early in the season to put, as what you're saying, it's a little bit too early to put a lot of stock in it.
I agree. I think they look better. They beat Baylor by 2 scores.
Mm-hmm.
So they do look better, but I get it. I get what you're saying. I think it's about right. You can't put them ahead of Oregon. You can't put them ahead of Georgia or LSU. So I think that's about right.
Okay. All right. You already caught on to this a little bit. I would, but I want to comment on here for a second. Should Texas have dropped more than 2 spots, or should Texas even be in the top 10? You got it. JC, hey, thank you for reposting the stream, buddy. We certainly appreciate it. Now we'll just wait for you to comment more because we know you will, buddy. Cheese will talk out of turn and you'll comment a lot. We know both those things will happen during this podcast. So,
of course.
Of course. So I don't like Texas being in the top 10. There are other teams that are much more deserving of those top 10 spots. And it's just simply because they got ranked number 2 in the poll in the beginning.
And they lost the number 1 team.
Right. So,
So, yeah, I think the problem with Texas is not that they dropped 2 spots, is that they were too high anyway. I think that's what we both agree on.
All right, so I like this question. I think you'll like this one too. I'll pose this to you and all of our fans out there. We've already doubled here in the last 20 minutes or so since we started this college football thing. So people are liking this college football, buddy. We're at 60 live right now on Lights Out Sports. So did Indiana moving up 10 spots after beating Illinois, and they beat them 63-10, or Illinois fallen from 15th to 24th? Which one made more sense? Illinois from 15 to 24, or Indiana moving up 10 spots?
I thought Indiana would move up more. Thought they'd move in the top 10. So I think it made more sense to move Illinois down. What about you?
Yeah, I think so, because Indiana dominated that game. In fact, much like you, they dominated the game good enough to where I didn't watch the whole game.
Defense, special teams. Indiana's defense looked amazing.
It did. It did.
It's just one game, but Indiana returned so many stars. They lost C.J. West, defensive tackle, drafted, I think, 4th round. They lost Curtis Rourke, their quarterback. But those are the only 2 players they had drafted. That's it. So many of these teams had 5, 6, 7 players drafted. Ohio State had 27 people drafted, basically. Not that many, but exaggeration. But
right,
they didn't lose much at all. And they were really good last year. They were in the playoff. So we probably should have seen this coming.
So Texas Tech moved up from 17 to 12 after beating a Utah team that they took out of the top 25. So my question is, can you knock a team out of the top 25 and then move the team that beat them up that far?
They did it on the road. But here's the thing with that game. It was 13-10 with 10 minutes to go. I watched that entire game. I was looking forward to it. I had not watched Utah or Texas Tech for a full game. And I wanted to see it because Texas Tech basically bought a team. They had 7 or 8 transfers on that defense. They basically bought a team.
He's saying the same thing John was about Kiffin's daughter dating the linebacker again. I didn't think that was going to be a story. I thought about talking about it, and I was like, nobody really cares. I guess people do care.
He's an attractive daughter. He does, but I have. That's what I was talking about. What were we talking about? These guys.
We were talking about Texas Tech moving up after they beat a Utah team that went out of the top 25.
It was 13-10 with 10 minutes ago. Utah was down 13-3. They scored a touchdown. So this was a very close game. It was a very defensive game until the end, and Will Heyman just kind of went off at the end. So I think they moved up so much because the score. And like you said, a lot of people don't watch the games. They don't have time to watch all of it. But I watched that game. And Texas Tech probably shouldn't have moved up that much. Utah probably shouldn't move down as much because it was a very close game until the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the Utah quarterback who I've loved the whole time. Yeah, it's a story, not a story.
Devon Dampier, they did a great job. Texas Tech's defense, they bought a defense. I think 7 or 8 starters or transfers. David Bailey, their edge rusher, was outstanding. He is an absolute stud. If you don't know the name, David Bailey. And, they basically bought a defense. They have some billionaire that's just buying these players. So Texas Tech's defense is legit.
So Bailey will be in the first round of the NFL playoff?
I would take him in the first round, yes.
Yeah, okay. Or not playoff, but the draft.
The draft.
We go. You knew what I meant.
Oh, I project him to be a first-round pick, correct.
All right. So the last one for me, and I got this from the Twitter account Believe in ASU, by the way. It is at Big 12 Activist. If you're going to look them up on Twitter and follow them like we do, again, that's at Big 12 Activist. That is Believe in ASU. Here's their question. TSU has not played a single team over 500. ASU has played 4 and beaten 3 of them. How can TSU be ranked ahead of ASU?
Well, TCU, they played one fewer game because they've had a bye. And they did play, let me pull it up here. SMU was ranked when they played them. So SMU lost to Baylor and TCU. I believe that's who they played. If my internet would work and it would pull up, but it doesn't want to pull up. Yes. Okay, so they beat SMU 35-24 at home. So I don't think it's that lopsided. They whooped North Carolina, but then so did Central Florida, who isn't whooping North Carolina. So the key is Arizona State has a loss and TCU doesn't. And that's it. But you're right. Arizona State has played a tougher schedule.
Okay. So that's our college football for right the moment. We are going to jump into our MLB 4-pitch talk. And what I mean by right the moment is, we're going to get back into college football here in just a few minutes because at the end here, we are going to do our top 10. And when we do our top 10, we're going to be doing that as we rank our top 10 one-loss teams in college football. But first, let's do MLB 4-pitch talk. Yeah, isn't that cool? It really is. I love it.
So cool.
All right, I am going to see here. Push out of this. That one at the bottom. All right, man. We got all this stuff going now. The bright yellow at the bottom matching the lightning bolt at the top and the fire in the background. And, Cheese didn't have his house explode because, he got the flaming 5 and 5. So we were good there.
Is that gas?
Uh-oh.
Let me start a lighter to see.
Yeah? Well, that may have just been what you had for dinner, sir. So.
Oh, okay. Chicken. I had chicken. It was yummy.
I'm glad. I had chicken too, but, I'm not sure why we're talking about chicken.
I had chicken like 4 nights a week for dinner, so it's not shocking that I had chicken.
Okay.
That's why we're talking about chicken.
Well, I tell you what, before we jump into the MLB playoffs and everything else, we got a lot to talk about when we get into the playoffs. This is the final week of the season, of course.
It's crazy.
Today, something happened. It was the anniversary of a very big feat today. I am looking at it here. I'm trying to find it on our Twitter timeline here real fast as I scan down through. Boy, we posted a lot of stuff on this Twitter timeline today, buddy.
We have a good poll question, too.
Yes, we do have a very good poll question. We'll get to that here in just a few moments. Here is the Lights Out Trivia. We did this for the first time today. We may be adding some of this. So I'd love to hear from you guys if you like the trivia thing. So on this day in baseball history, Sparky Anderson was the first of 4 managers to have 100-game winning seasons in both the AL and the NL. Who are the other 3? Now, Cheese, I said don't look it up, and I was asking people to join us here on the podcast. We would give that, and then I want to dive into some of this other stuff because we got some really interesting things to go off of this when it comes to the playoffs. Let's pause that music in the background, and let me ask you: can you give me any of the other 3 managers, or can? I see the comment pop up. Hold on.
So I wrote down some names.
Okay.
I wrote down 4 names, actually.
All right.
You said it's only 3 more, right?
There is only 3 more. Now, there is one person who got 2 100-win seasons in the National League, but there's not another one who got 1 in the AL and 1 in the NL.
So I wrote down 4 names.
All right, let's hear them.
Jim Leyland, Lou Piniella, Dusty Baker, and Tony La Russa. They're the only 4 that I could think of that had successful seasons in both the AL and NL.
All right, so 2 of them are correct. Which 2 would you like to choose?
Well, I know Lou Piniella with the Mariners, they won like 115, 116 games one year. I don't know if the Cubs ever won that. No, so it's not Piniella. Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker is one of them, yes. The Giants definitely won with Dusty Baker. Oh, then the Astros, yes. Dusty Baker.
Yes.
And I just don't know. Jim Leyland, didn't he manage the Tigers? Did they win 100 games?
They did not.
They did not.
It's not Leyland.
So it's the A's and Cardinals.
You did mention another guy who's on the list.
Tony La Russa, A's and Cardinals. Yeah.
A's and the Cardinals. Okay. So the other one, so you got Sparky, or I guess I gave you Sparky.
Yeah.
Sparky, Tony La Russa, Dusty Baker, and the other, if you think St. Louis Cardinals, was Whitey Herzog.
Yeah, I would never have guessed that. I obviously know who he is, but I'd never have guessed that in a million years.
And then JC here says Buck, I think, had 1, but I doubt it. Well, now, JC, if you're talking about Buck Showalter, he won 101 games with the New York Mets just a couple of years ago, and he was also the first manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they won 100 games when he was with the Diamondbacks. So he did do it, but just not in each league. So the franchise, I got some more stuff for this trivia, and this is the way I want to do this, I think. So I personally like the trivia stuff. I'm a big numbers guy, as most of you guys already out there know. So let me give you some. So the franchise with the most 100-win seasons, the New York Yankees with 21. And then just to show you how dominant they have been with these 100-win season, the second-ranked team has 10 less, 11, and that would be the Los Angeles Dodgers. Joe McCarthy and Bobby Cox have the most 100-win seasons with 6. Of course, now they did it both in the same league, so that wasn't part of the actual trivia there. 7, believe it or not, 7 of the 30 Major League Baseball franchises have never had a 100-win season. So 7 of them have never reached 100 wins. And here's this part that I wanted to connect everything.
Colorado Rockies. Sorry, go ahead.
More than likely, yes. I didn't look up which 7. I figured I'd let our fans do that, but I'm sure they're on the list. So 7 of the 30 have never had a 100-win season. Through 145 total Major League Baseball seasons, 119 teams have had 100 winning seasons, and 68 of those 119 have advanced to the World Series, and 38 of those 119 have actually won the World Series. So With 6 games to play, ladies and gentlemen, only one team can win 100 games this year. That's the Milwaukee Brewers. Hopefully they will not, because that means they're going to beat the Reds later on in the week, and I don't want that to happen. So, yeah, some crazy stuff here. So we're going to look at the playoffs, and then we're going to look at how ABS will affect MLB, because it was passed today that they're going to actually do the ABS system.
Well, it's not the Rockies.
No,
it's not the Rockies, not the White Sox.
no, it would not be either of those teams. So, so let's look at the playoffs, the playoff picture in the American League. All right, so here's some crazy stuff that's happened over the weekend. Right, so by sweeping the Astros in Houston over the weekend, the Seattle Mariners actually went from being on the outside looking in to all of a sudden being the 2nd seed in the AL. And if it sticks the way it is right now, they would get a bye and would get 5 games off. Based on that, Cheese, I've got 2 questions for you, and here they are.
Okay.
The Mariners are 9-1 in their last 10. Is 5 days off what they really need if they go into the playoffs?
No. I don't like the bye. Bye is great for football. It's terrible for baseball. You do not even have 5 days off. The All-Star break is like 4 days off. Like, it could take you out of your rhythm. I don't know about last year. I remember 2 years ago, the 4 teams that were the top 2 seeds in the AL and NL, 3 of the 4 lost. Only the Astros won. And the Braves they couldn't score. Like, the rhythm was off. They were not hitting. It just, that layoff is not good. And it's hard to simulate games just playing the scrimmage. I don't like a bye. Baseball, yeah, you want to reward the team with a better record, but reward them by giving them more home games. Maybe giving even the first round, every game's at home. Reward them that way, but don't have a bye. I think a team that's hot, especially like the Mariners, I think a bye could be the worst, or just like 5 days off could be the worst possible thing for them.
Yeah, as JC saying, Phillies bye really affected them last year.
It did. It hurt the Braves the year before. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. He's right.
And, bullpen was choking games. He's still talking about the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same point, right? So Wu for the Seattle Mariners is he's not like injured. He's not going to go on the DL, they said today, because they didn't want to do that. But if they can get a few days off and then they get Brandon Wu back and they've got all of their starting pitchers, look out for the Seattle Mariners in the playoffs. They have a big time rotation. So here's the second question for you. Still sticking with the Mariners here for a moment. The Mariners play 3 against the Rockies and then 3 against the Dodgers. How many of their final 6 games are they going to win? Chiefs, 3 against the Rockies, 3 against the Dodgers.
Well, I'll say this. It's between 0 and 6 games.
Is it somewhere in that neighborhood?
I don't know. I mean, they should sweep the Rockies. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers might not be playing for anything, depending on how San Diego's doing. They're up 4-0 on Milwaukee right now. But sorry to say, I don't know if you know this, but the Reds did lose to the Pirates today.
Thanks, buddy.
Tough one. But, I mean, I don't know, but the Mariners should lock in the number 2 seed.
Now, I'm sure you can check the games. I don't want to get too many windows up here because it seems to affect the stream if I do. But what about the Mets? What they do? Let's just give everybody everything.
7-7. It was 6-6. Now it's 7-7 Cubs Mets. It's just back and forth. Well, the Cubs were up 6-1 and blew the lead, but now it's 7-7. Matt Shaw just took a walk. Love Matt Shaw.
All right. Matt Shaw. Hey, he's a really good player. Right? He's an underrated player. I'll certainly
He's
give
had
him
a good
that.
second half.
He has.
Nico Hunter has scored 4 of the Cubs' 6 runs in the 7th inning.
All right, sticking with the playoff picture in the American League, the American League divisions look like this. Toronto is up 2 games on the Yankees, and the Yankees play the White Sox and the Orioles for those next 6 games. Toronto plays the Red Sox and the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit is up 1 game on Cleveland. Cleveland and Detroit are playing now.
It's tied. Cleveland just won.
Tied. All right. Then Cleveland ends the year with 3 games at Texas. Then Detroit does Cleveland and Boston. Here's how desperate Detroit is. And I do see the comment. I'll get to it here in just a moment, guys. Detroit actually moved up Tarek Skubal today to pitch tonight. And then also he can pitch on Sunday in case they need him. The Reds, I can tell you, had the same ability with Hunter Green for tonight's game, and then they would have pitched him on Sunday as well, and they chose not to. Maybe a mistake for one team, maybe not for the other team. We'll see how it all plays out. So the division winners, I'm going to make a bold prediction here in a moment, but I'm going to get this from you. So you got, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the Seattle. Seattle's up 3 on Houston, but Houston plays the A's and the Angels to end their season. So 2 of the weaker teams. And Seattle plays, of course, we've already said this, the Rockies and the Dodgers.
Baseball, yeah.
So, knowing all of this, can the Yankees make up that 2-game difference and overtake Toronto for that AL Division East crown?
Yeah, and they probably will.
Ooh, and they probably will.
Because it's the Yankees. It's the Yankees. Yankees had a really bad run about a month ago, but they're playing much better. I hope the Blue Jays hold off, but I don't know.
I'm going to stick with the Blue Jays personally. I'm thinking the Blue Jays will serve here, so they'll be okay. Detroit up 1 game on Cleveland. Cleveland is playing Detroit right now. Then they play Texas. Detroit is going to play Cleveland, and then they play Boston, another team that's in the wild card chase. What do you think about Detroit's 1-game lead on Cleveland? Who will win the American League Central?
Well, Skubal lost today. Cleveland beat them. Cleveland's going to take us. They're playing so well. Detroit, maybe the first 2 months, they were the best team in baseball by far as record, them and the Mets, but they're just not a great team. So I think Cleveland wins the division and takes it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit misses the playoffs entirely. If Houston's the wild card, I would not be surprised if Detroit goes from being the best team in the American League around June and just misses the playoffs.
All right. Again, you know how a big stat guy I am, so let me give you this. In the last 26 games, Cleveland is 20-6. Detroit is 7-19.
Horrible.
Yes. But here's the crazy part of the stat. Both teams have scored the exact amount of runs on the average in those 26 games, which is 4.4. So you'd think if each team was going to score the same amount of runs, they would be at least comparable to the victories, but they are not. So let's
has
jump
better
over
pitching.
here.
Cleveland's got really good pitching. They do. Yeah.
They do. Let me hide this real fast and then go over here to the comments because we got some we need to get to here before I move along. So that's right, pitching in the Cubs bullpen. All right, we got that
He's
one.
Not on.
No, he's not. Let me do the AL ones here. JC, you're probably thinking I'm skipping some of them, but I'm not. I'll come back and get to them, buddy. So yes, Detroit's kind of fallen apart. Besides that, Tigers traded for the ground ball Chuck and Chris Paddock. That's correct. But you've also got to look at Riley as well. I think Riley's batting like, I don't know, I think it's like 160 or something like that over those same 26 games. So yeah,
he's such an important player for the lineup.
He is. And he is not, I mean, Ellie fell apart for the Reds there for a little bit. He's kind of back on track a little. And Riley Green has fallen apart for Detroit, and he has not gotten back on.
The Guardians, if they had a stretch in the middle of the season where they just couldn't score, they would have this division. They had so many games where they'd lose like 2-1 or just low scoring games. The lineup was the issue, but yeah, they're playing amazing right now. I don't want to face them in the postseason.
No, I wouldn't want to either. I agree with that. And it's, I don't know. It's amazing how some of these teams, the Guardians, the Brewers, they lose half their team in free agency and they get paid to go somewhere else and they don't do near as well on the other teams. And then they just turn around and replace them with people we've never heard of. Yeah. So
they develop the farm system. Yep.
It is amazing. All right, let's go back and let's look at, so what do you think about Seattle up 3 on Houston. Seattle has to play the A's and the Angels. I'm sorry, that's Houston. Houston plays the A's and the Angels, and Seattle plays Rockies, Dodgers.
Yeah, Seattle's got that. They got no problem.
Okay. Now we'll look at the wild card standings here for a moment, and this is where in both leagues this gets tricky. So follow me here. I'm going to throw a lot of stuff at you, all right? And then if you see something happening, I see you staring off onto the TV over there. You give us that breaking news.
I'm pulling up the standings because it's pretty complicated. So I'm going to pull it up.
It is. I thought about sharing a screen with us here, and then I was like, nah. Well, our fans are good. They can handle all the baseball stats here. Good. So the wild card teams right now, the Yankees are up 4. The Red Sox are the second team. They're up 1, and then it's Guardians and Astros that are tied for that final spot.
Gosh,
the Yankees are 7-3 in their last 10, and again they play the White Sox and the Dodgers. The Red Sox are up 1, only up 1 on the Guardians and the Astros. They are 4-6 in their last 10, and they play Toronto and Detroit. The Guardians are in a tie for that third spot. They are 9-1 in their last 10, and they play against Detroit and a Texas team that's now out of it. The Astros are an even 5-5 in their last 10, and they play 2 teams that are out of it, the A's and the Angels. So, here's my question, sir. Yankees, Red Sox, Guardians, Astros. There's only 3 wild card team playoff spots. Which team, Yankees, Red Sox, Guardians, Astros, is not going to make the AL playoff?
You didn't even say the team, the Tigers. Tigers are out. The Tigers are the team that won't make it. Because Cleveland's going to win the division.
Okay.
Astros will be a wild card, and obviously the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Red Sox will all make it. So I think the Tigers are the team that will not make it. They've lost 9 of 10. They stink. They stink. What'd you say? What is their record in the last 26? 7
they
and
are
19?
7-19. Yes.
Yeah, they stink.
I've got notes all over the place. So
and if you can't win Scooble's start, you're done. He won't pitch again till Sunday, and they're probably going to be out of it by then. They stink.
Okay, so I'm going to look at it a little differently. It's we didn't plan this out. I like it when we look at things different, and we don't always have to agree. I still like you at the end. Your cheese is still fine with me, sir. So
I hope so.
Yes, I'm going to look at it this way. I still think Detroit gets in.
Okay.
I'm going to give Detroit the division. I'm going to have Cleveland be the wild card, but the 3 wild cards will be the Yankees, the Guardians, and the Astros. I'm going to take the Red Sox out because if you look at it, the Red Sox play at Toronto, and then Detroit comes to them. Toronto has to keep winning in order to keep ahead of the Yankees, and Detroit by that point will be desperate to win in order to keep that division. So I think that will mean that the Red Sox are out. The Red Sox are 4-6. And another crazy stat is the Red Sox against 500 or better teams are 1 game under 500.
Okay.
So using those kind of things, I'm going to knock the Red Sox out of this, and I'm going to say that the Yankees, Guardians, and Astros all make the playoffs. All right. Fantastic, buddy. So we're halfway through it. Now we're going to go and we're going to look at the playoff picture in the National League. So the Phillies and Brewers are champions. This one's a little easier, right? They're done. They've got both those divisions clinched.
Correct.
The Dodgers lead San Diego by 2.5 games. The Dodgers play at the Diamondbacks today, tomorrow, next day, and then they go to the Mariners for their last 3 games of the season. While the Padres are facing the Brewers right now, and then the Diamondbacks have to go to the Padres to end the season. So the question becomes, can San Diego make up that 2.5 game lead and overtake the Dodgers and win the National League West?
I don't think so. I thought after the deadline, we talked about that a few months back. I thought they would catch them. I thought they would win the division. But it's just too big a lead with 6 games to go. So I'm going to say Dodgers take the division. What about you?
I don't really want to say it this way, but I think it's true. Actually, I hope so here's what I'm hoping for, and I'll tell you what I think's going to happen, but I'll tell you what I'm hoping for first.
You're hoping the Diamondbacks sweep the Dodgers. That's what you're hoping for.
Well, I'm hoping the Dodgers stay right there at 3, and then the Reds get in at 6, because I think the Reds have a much better chance of beating the Dodgers than they do the Padres. So even though they have the series, they have the season series against both of them. And, for all the Reds fans out there that are listening to us right now, we've got almost 80 people with us live right here on this Lights Out Sports. Ooh, I almost said the other name.
The name has changed.
It's changed. It's changed, buddy. I came really, really close there.
Wow.
For those of you Reds fans, even if they don't make the playoffs, they had the season series, or they have the season series against the Diamondbacks. They beat them. They have the season series against the Padres. They had the season series against the Mets, and they have the season series against the Dodgers. So they have beaten all of those really good teams, and if they would have tied with them, then they get in. So that may be what helps them out more than anything before it is all said and done. I know Cheese is watching there, so
well,
I also think it'll be interesting today. And I'll kind of make this prediction a little bit today, since the Reds have already lost, the Mets are tied, and then if the Diamondbacks can win.
The Mets are ahead. The Cubs bullpen has given up 8 runs so far today. When your bullpen gives up 8 runs, it's hard to win. It's 9-7 Mets in the 8th inning. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. That's okay. Well, but it'll work out in the favor here. So the Reds lose, the Mets win, and the Diamondbacks win. All 3 of those teams will be tied for that final wild card spot. I mean, what a last week of baseball we're going to have here. So this is going to be fantastic. Let me get to a couple of the comments that we've got here, and then we will go back to the wild card picture in the National League. I need to take that off so that I can put the comments
I'll just say this
here.
real quick. Cubs got to
go ahead while I'm doing that.
Cubs got to be careful. Right now, they're the top wild card. They'll get home field advantage in that first round, but they're only 2.5 up. They've lost 4 straight. They have had trouble scoring runs in Cincinnati, and now their bullpen has collapsed. They got to be careful, or they might be playing at the Dodgers or at the Padres.
Yeah, and that would be huge for them. They don't do well.
And they're not as good as those teams, in my opinion, so you don't want to play them on the road.
Right, and I believe that the Cubs have a worse record on the road. They have an under 500 record on the road, if I remember correctly. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I think they do, or it's really close, one of the 2.
3 games over 500 on the road.
How many?
3 games over 500 on the road.
Okay. All right, it's not great, but it's not terrible.
17 over at home.
Much better at home than they are on the road. You can at least say that, right?
Friendly confines.
Right. Sometimes it's friendly, and
he's correct. They're going to be one and done no matter who they play. They are. It's correct. Kyle Tucker's not even healthy. What a disaster trade that was. But anyway.
Yeah, and he'll walk, so they'll get nothing.
We'll talk about in the offseason a lot. Yes.
We will. We will talk about baseball this offseason a lot, ladies and gentlemen, because, there'll be some really good stuff to throw out there. I'm already making notes and what I want to talk about later on. So it'll all be interesting. Okay, JC, I'll get this last one up here, and then I'm going to go away from these comments for a second. So they look very fraudulent. Pitching is inconsistent. I take it it's because Council's name is in there. So, yeah. Do you agree with all that, Cheese?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, they have stretches where they hit everything and stretches where they hit nothing. The starting pitching has been good, but I don't think it's without Justin Steele. No one talks about this. Justin Steele is their best starter. He misses the most bats. In the postseason, you can't have starters that are just like pitchability. You have to miss bats. You're facing the best lineups. And Justin Steele would be the pitcher that would pitch game 1 in the postseason, and he's out for the year. So starting pitching's been their strength this year, but I don't necessarily trust in the postseason. So yeah, I don't think they're built for the postseason at all.
Okay. So we'll finish up here with the National League wild card. We'll talk about the ABS system in MLB, and then we'll move into the National Football League. All right. So the National League wild card. Now, what I'm going to tell you is before the results of the games today. All right. Okay. So let's throw that out there. It's before the results of the games today. So the wild card, the Reds had the first spot. They were tied with the Mets, but they owned the tiebreaker. So technically they had the last spot. In the last 10, The Reds are 6-4, and they play the Pirates right now. Then they play the Brewers for the last 3 games in Milwaukee. The Mets are 80-76. They are only 4-6 in their last 10. They are playing the Cubs right now, and then they close the season out in Florida against the Marlins. The Diamondbacks, they are 1 game out right now at 79-77. They are 7-3 in their last 10, as Cheese mentioned last week when he predicted that they would get this final wild card spot. They're hot, and they have been. They will play 3 games with the Dodgers in Chase Field, and then they go to San Diego and play the Padres. Now, I have to say this. They're facing Shohei Ohtani tonight. I don't know who they're facing the next night, but then they should get Clayton Kershaw for his final start in baseball. So it's
light him up.
Going to be a rough go for the Diamondbacks for them to be able to get in.
Tomorrow, Ryan Nelson versus Blake Snell.
Gosh, I got to go through Blake Snell too. So that's going to be a rough task for them.
Yeah.
The Giants are technically still. Hope they're
good against left-handed pitching.
I would have to look that up. As far as I don't know if they are or not.
You were the Diamondbacks guy for a while.
Okay. I know. I should have all this stuff memorized. I mean, look at this huge head. So I should have it all memorized.
Actually, Thursday is Yamamoto versus. You got to help me with this name. Nabil Crismatt?
Yes, Crismatt.
So they go against Yamamoto, so they do not.
So they don't get Clayton Kershaw.
They do not get Clayton Kershaw, which is worse. I'd rather face Clayton Kershaw than Yamamoto.
I'm glad I didn't buy tickets for that game like I was going to.
Facing all the best pitchers for the Dodgers. Okay.
Yeah. I was honestly going to buy tickets for that Thursday night game because I thought they were going to do Clayton Kershaw. I wanted to go see his final game.
He's pitching Friday against Seattle. In Seattle. That's his final game.
I can't afford to go to Seattle and take off work and lose the overtime and all that. I would get shot for doing that. So I see there's a bunch of comments. I will get to you guys, I promise here. So technically the Giants are also still in this wild card. They're 3.5 games back. It's their long shot. They're 2-8 in their last 10, and they play the Cardinals and the Rockies. I'm going to pretty much take the Giants out of this equation. So You've got Reds, Mets, and Diamondbacks all vying for this final wild card spot in a National League. This race is going to be fantastic, Cheese. Who do you think comes out on top and gets that final wild card spot?
Reds. I'm taking the Reds. You said they play the Brewers, right, at the end?
They do play the Brewers at the end.
Clinched. They're going to be setting their rotation, playing young guys.
Yes.
I know they lost the Pirates today, but I think the Reds are going to be the last team.
All right, so I think I'm going back far enough to get all of JC's comments. He's just rattling stuff off to us here. So
I wondered why he only went 3 innings, but it's not good for the Cubs. He's right. They're going to be a one and done. I have no expectations. I expect it.
And you can go over on our X page now. It is at, let me make sure I get this right, because we have changed everything over to the All Sport or All Gloves Off Media.
Do you want me to look it up?
No, I got it here, buddy. There was a couple things that we had to change because there were names that we couldn't get. So it's at All Gloves Off SM is what it is, at All Gloves Off SM. If you go over there and you look at our timeline, I've got a great 30-second or so interview from Horton, and what he talks about is amazing. From a young kid's standpoint, and what he says, it was fantastic. I really liked what he had to say. So
real quick, do you know kind of his story? He was terrible his junior season in Oklahoma until basically I think it was Big 12 tournament then. It was Big 12 then. They were in there in the College World Series. Like until then, he had a 5-something ERA all season because he was coming up Tommy John and he wasn't right. And then all of a sudden it clicked and he had a 2-something ERA from that tournament through the College World Series. And his slider was unhittable. And he went from, not even being considered a first-round pick to late first-round pick, and the Cubs took him in the top 10. So he came out of nowhere. So it's a really, really good story. Guy who had 5-something ERA in his college career until right at the end.
We're gonna have to do some research on him, and then we'll look at him more in the off season. But that's a great story. as JC mentions right here, they're 0-65 are the Mets in games in which they have trailed. That is 100% correct, sir. That's a great stat. I have it right over here on the notepad as well. And that's why I'm picking the Reds.
Tonight's going to be the night they probably break that streak.
It could
They
be.
were down 6-1.
The Diamondbacks have the most blown saves in Major League Baseball. That's why I would say they're not going to make the playoffs. The Mets have lost every game that they have trailed in the ninth inning. They've never come back and won. And the Cincinnati Reds have 32 comeback wins after trailing. So that is the most in Major League Baseball. So that's why I'm going to pick them for that final wild card spot, just as Cheese did. All right, let's talk the ABS system. And it's going to be in 2026. First of all, most people probably won't know this, and I love to throw out stuff that most people probably don't know. There was an 11-person team today who decided that this was going to move forward. Those 11 people were 6 owners, 4 players, and 1 umpire. So that's how, when they do these 11-person committees, that's how Major League Baseball does it. Obviously, 11 is so they don't have 10 or 12 and can tie. You need an odd number of people in the room so that we can get an actual yes or no vote. So here's just a few stats on the ABS things, and then I've got a few questions for you, Cheese. So every team will get 2 of these per game. They are only charged if the challenge is unsuccessful. So as long as you keep winning your challenges, you continue to retain both of them all the way through the end of the game. So the numbers of chances are actually limitless if you continue to win. And any pitcher, catcher, or hitter can challenge any pitch at any time. There is a stipulation to this. I'm banking a lot of people don't know this stipulation. You must do it within 3 seconds of the pitch. That does not give you time to look over into the dugout or to look out at the pitcher, or you guys kind of talk about it. Do we really want to do this? Or it has to be almost like an instantaneous thing for you to do. So let's get this comment up here. I've been advocating for this system for a couple years now, especially when I saw it in spring training here. I think this is going to be great. So here's a question for you, Cheese. Do you allow pitchers to call their own pitches and challenge them? Because, on the mound, pitchers think every pitch is a strike, right? So do you, if you were the manager of your team, would you allow your starting pitcher or your relief pitcher that comes in, would you allow them to be able to challenge the pitch system?
It depends on the situation. No, unless it's, let's say you have first and third 2 out and you throw a pitch you know is a strike, then yes, you can. Second inning, nobody on 2 out, and you throw a ball, the first pitch, and you think it's a strike? No. 1-0 versus 0-1? No, you don't then. You have to, take into consideration the situation. Because once you lose one, you only have 1 left. So
right.
It brings more strategy into the game.
Yeah, that's why I love it.
It does, but you know this, and you mentioned it, but hitters and pitchers make mistakes. They think, oh, that's definitely a strike, and it's not. Or a hitter, no way, that's a strike. That's a ball. Yeah. Or, they think that, and they just get it in their minds. You've seen guys throw their bats, get all mad at a ball that was actually caught the corner, And, we're all human. We make mistakes. So I think this is going to lead to, probably more than likely they're going to be right, but it's going to lead to situations where pitchers and hitters kind of look dumb because it gets like the lower corner. Yeah. And one of the things they've got to figure out is like Aaron Judge and Jose Altuve cannot have the same strike zone.
Well, they have actually figured this out. And this is one of the things that I love about this. So it's the ABS system, automated ball strike system. That's what ABS stands for. So they have different cameras at different angles around the home plate. Now, obviously they're not going to be in the field of play, like out in front or something like that. Right. But it does take into consideration, and it will adjust by the height of the player in the batter's box. so that it's not just one square in the, it's the square for Jose Altuve and it's the same square for Aaron Judge, right? It's not going to be that way. It actually will adjust by the batter when he gets in the box. It will adjust for each one. It's, from my understanding, I need to probably research this a little bit more, but I guess every player has their measurements and stuff like that put into the system, and then when you say Aaron Judge is up to bat, the system knows, okay, well, I got to make the box this big. And then when Jose Altuve is up to bat, the system knows, oh, I got to make it that big. So it does adjust.
So that means pitchers have to adjust.
That's right.
Pitchers have to know who's up and what their strike zone is.
Yes.
When a pitch hit, you have to know the height of there's a pinch hitter. You have to know that if you have a guy who's 6'3" and the pinch hitter is 5'10", you have to know that. So pitchers, what I think it could lead to is more walks, because you've seen it. Sometimes umpires, if you're close, 6 inches outside, but it's framed well, we're going to give it to him. Yeah, let's just call a strike. You've seen that. I think the 2-strike pitch where hitters are called out and they know it's not, they're going to challenge. 3-2 pitches, challenge. It's worth a challenge, especially what if you have bases loaded 2 out and the ball's a little outside? You're going to challenge that. You can walk and run. So I think it's going to lead to more walks. So I think there's a lot of things. This could completely change everything. Catchers that frame well aren't as important. So we might see more uptick in catchers that hit well. Because if you don't have to frame, Kyle Schwarber can catch you now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then also pitchers that have good control are more important now.
This is going to do a lot of stuff. I want to talk about so much of this, but I feel as though we can't do it right the moment. I mean,
in the off season, we'll have a whole show. We could have a whole show.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more on this because we certainly can. But it was done today, so I at least wanted to bring it up and give you a few things. What do you think about how this will affect bringing up minor league catchers? Because the catchers are now going to become so much more important with this ABS system, how they frame it. And they're the ones that, and you do this, you tap 3 times on the head for calling these pitches and stuff. So do you think it's going to affect catchers, and do you think teams are going to turn to veteran catchers and maybe leave the kids down in the minor leagues a little more?
I don't think so at all. Actually, I think the opposite. I don't think framing is much important, because if you don't frame a pitch well, it won't matter because they can just challenge it. Framing has become so important the last 4 or 5 years, and it's affected hitting. A lot of, you're not going to have as many catchers that are just bat-only catchers, because it's all about framing. They're terrible framers. They're playing DH or they're playing first base. So now, the fact you can challenge, framing just, to me, doesn't seem as important. Okay, you don't frame it well, but you can just challenge. Okay, it's still a strike. And they tap their head and challenge. So I think it's going to be more about the bat at the catching position. Like it used to be. When I was a kid, it was definitely more about the bat. Like Mike Piazza, to me, if he played now, Mike Piazza would have been a first baseman. He never would have been a catcher.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So would you allow your hitters to call for review? We kind of looked at that a few minutes ago. You were talking about that, and I understand it would be in situations. But what I want to point out right here, Cheese, is that the manager can't do it.
Right.
The manager can't yell out there like, "Hey, you got to challenge that," or he can't look at the replay guy and be like, "Are we gonna challenge? No, okay, no." And so we can't do any of that anymore with this ABS system. A lot of people are saying it's going to make the umpires look bad. I don't think it is. From what I saw with the ABS system, the umpires usually get the calls right. It makes the hitters and the pitchers look stupid. If it was me, I would only allow my catcher to call for these and not the hitters and the pitchers.
I think pitchers are going to win this more often than the bats, because they can see. I mean, they're actually throwing right at. They can see if a ball should be. Hitters, you mentioned this when we first started the segment. People think they're right. They think every time someone strikes out looking, maybe not every time, most time, they hits a corner, they think, no way, that was a ball.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, in the heat of the moment, they'd be like, tap their head. No way, no, that was. And you look at the replay, you're like, oh no, it got in, it hit the corner, So I think the hitters are going to lose it more than the pitchers. But I think the managers have to, it's about the situation. And it's also about, do you trust the hitter? Is it someone in a hothead? Is someone going to react bad? There's so many factors. Like I said, we could talk about this for 2 hours, but I think in key situations, 3-2 count, called strike, why not take a challenge if you think it's close? Those are when you definitely trust the hitter. The manager might be like, challenge. And it's like, okay. So I don't know how much, especially early in the game, if it's 0-0 in the third or something, I don't know how much leeway they'll have.
All right, and then I just want to add this to the end of our conversation, and we're then going to jump into our NFL. But
our top 10.
Yes, then we will do the top 10 at the end of our NFL conversation. Thank you, Chiefs, for that. You are, again, as usual, 100% correct. But
as usual,
yes.
Nice.
I was nice to you and threw that out there. It's a dog.
It's not like you to be nice to me. What's going on?
I'm feeling generous today. I went and saw Charlie Kirk over the weekend, so he's made me a better person, sir,
okay,
or at least a softer person. How about that? When you get into extra innings, just so everybody knows, the ruling was also done this way. So if you go into extra innings, you get one more challenge if you go into extra innings. So you will also see, I think that's going to shape the latter part of the innings. If they, hey, if it's still tied, if it's tied in the 8th, if it's tied in the 9th, and it's like, wow, if we go into extra innings, I don't need to save this challenge, then maybe it will make me take it either in that 8th or 9th inning. Even if I lose it, they would probably not think a whole lot of it because you're going to get another one once it gets to the 10th inning. So, just a little bit of.
I did not know that. So you have one challenge in extra. So if you lose it right away in the 10th, you're done in extras.
Yeah.
Wow,
you're done for the remainder of the extra innings.
I did not know that.
Okay. Yes. Yep, that was the rule today. So, all right, guys, we're going to jump into our NFL, and of course, you know how we got to do this here. We got to put ourselves over to the side. We got to put our NFL music up here, and here we go.
Still baseball. There we go. Oh, that's so cool. Cubs are bad at baseball, by the way.
And breaking news from Cheese. Cubs are bad at baseball. Okay.
We should have breaking news. On my NFL recap video, I broke the Jackson Dart starting for the Giants now. It happened right as I was in the middle of my video. It was pretty cool. I just tried to find breaking news. I see nothing. Nothing's going on.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
He doesn't care about counsel enough to write that letter.
No, I really don't. You are 100% right. All right, so I know you want to look at the NFL and the Wild West out here in the NFL. So why don't you start us off on that topic, Chiefs?
Yeah, just a few things to go over. We're going to talk about the West divisions. Okay? Let's start with the NFC West. The 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals, they're combined 9-3. Niners are 3-0. The rest of the teams are 2-1. The entire division has lost one game that is not against each other. Okay? So the Seahawks and Cardinals both lost to the Niners. So of the three losses, 2 of them were interdivisional, so you have to lose to an opponent. The other loss was the Rams this past Sunday to the Eagles, and they led 26-7 at one point. They lost to the defending champs 33-26, just completely collapsed. Mm-hmm. So before the season, you predicted that 49ers would win the division. They're in first place by themselves right now. I had the Rams. Do you still think the Niners will take it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, there's already been some key injuries here, and you didn't mention any of these injuries, right? So I was going to say no because of Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa torn ACL, right?
Really, yeah, he's done for the rest of the season. But the team that I was going to say I thought could win it, just lost 1-2. James Conner has been knocked out for the rest of the season for the Arizona Cardinals.
Ankle surgery.
Right. So, and by the way, he has played his last, I'll say this right now, he has played his last snap in an Arizona Cardinal uniform.
Probably.
It's not the way I wanted it to end. He's been really good for the Cardinals. I hate to see it end on an injury like this, but I don't see them signing him to another big contract, being this is the last year of his contract currently with Arizona. So I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. So I guess I would have to look. So I don't really believe in Seattle. You believe a lot more in the Rams than I do.
I do
because I'm not sure about their quarterback and his age. But I'm also not sure about Kyler Murray, because if you look at stats, and I did it before we came on the air, the team that has the lowest amount of yards for their receiving core is the Arizona Cardinals. They were really leaning on that running game, and now they don't. I'm not going to say they don't have one, but their most significant piece is gone for the rest of the season. So they're in flux, and they've got to turn it around. They got to play a Thursday night game against Seattle this Thursday. So it's going to be rough. I rambled. What was your original question? Do I still think the Niners can win?
Yeah, I mean, do you think the Niners will take it? Brock Purdy and George Kittle have not been playing much, and they're still winning. And they're 2-0 in the division. They have beaten the Cardinals and at Seattle. So do you still think, if you had to pick now, would you still take the Niners? Because they're in first place by themselves.
I know, but they scare me with no Bosa. But you know what? I'm going to stick with them. I tend to do that a lot, even through thick and thin. So I'll stick with the 49ers, and I will say, yes, the 49ers will still take that division.
Okay. It's been the best division in football this year. All four teams have shown at least enough to look like they could be postseason teams. And like I said, 9-3, but only one loss outside the division on the road to the Super Bowl champions. So really impressive. I still think I'll stick with the Rams. I still love their defense. Their corners got beat up by the Eagles in the second half. That was really the big issue for them. But the biggest problem that irritates me with the Rams is they attempt way more field goals than they need to. You have Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams. Blake Corum is a backup running back. Why are you kicking all these field goals? Why aren't you scoring touchdowns? What is going on with them?
I feel the same way about ASU.
Yeah. Well, I just don't understand. Honestly, I think Sean McVay, his play calling in the red zone sucks. I know he's a successful coach, super winning coach. I don't love his play calling in the red zone at all. I think he's bad at it. Okay.
And you got the number one receiver on your team as far as yardage in the whole entire NFL, which is Puka Nacua.
You have Devontae Adams, future Hall of Famer, and Puka Nacua, another future Hall of Famer. Let's be honest, he's going to be. Yeah. Like, you have two unbelievable receivers. You have Kyron Williams, a really, really good running back. And Blake Corum, backup running back's very good too. He just hasn't made chances. Really good player at Michigan. I don't understand why he attempted 6 field goals in this past game against the Eagles. 6 field goals. Crazy. Okay. So every team is 3-0 or 2-1. How about this scenario? What if they all tie at 10-7? And only one of them gets to make the playoffs. Unlikely, but it could happen. The Rams and Seahawks tied at 10-7 last year. Rams made the playoffs. Seahawks did not. Okay? And it will be determined by a tiebreaker. Do you have an issue with this?
I mean, they've got to determine it somehow. I don't have an issue with it necessarily, especially because it's not like these things have changed. I mean, it's been this way since, for the last handful of seasons at least. And they've not changed the tiebreakers. All the tiebreakers are the same. So every NFL team knows what tiebreakers win and what tiebreakers don't. So you adjust your game accordingly, and you win the head-to-head matchups and stuff like that. So I don't have a problem with it. Do you have a problem with it, and do you have like another solution that you'd like to see?
Well, I mean, here's what I think, and I want to get your take on this. I think 14 divisions are terrible. think it's too small because you end up like last year with a 10-win team, the Rams, hosting the 14-win Vikings at home because the home team gets a playoff game. Either change it where the best record, no matter what, if they win the division, gets the home playoff game. But I wish the divisions were bigger. I want 4 divisions, to be honest with you. You couldn't play everyone home and away, just home or away. You only play division rounds once. That's the only bad part of it. But I wish there were 4 8-team divisions. I just think there are years where the division winners can win 8 or 9 games, and there's a year like last year with the NFC North where Lions win 15 games and the Vikings win 14, and the Vikings have to go on the road in the playoffs and they lose. So I just feel like this could be solved if the divisions were bigger. What do you think about that?
Sorry, I was pouring my drink into the cup, and I didn't want that noise to be on the mic there, so I muted it for a second. But
You're fine.
I actually like where your head's at here. I like I never really thought about it until now. You're making my brain hurt a little bit here, but I kind of like the scenario that you've got there with the larger divisions, just fewer of them. I don't really have a problem with the fact that you can't play everybody, home and away kind of thing. You could rotate that. That shouldn't be a big deal. I don't know. You've hit me with something I haven't thought of before. I mean, it's
in the football season, we can talk about it. You have no idea the notes I have for a bigger schedule, for how it would work, who would play what. I have it all out, so we can do this another time.
But I like it, though. I like this a lot. I think this could really work, and I'm really surprised that nobody's commenting on it right at the moment, since we're at almost 100 people live right here on the Lights Out Sports podcast on the All Gloves Off Sports Media channel. So, yeah, you caught me off guard a little bit there, but I like what you're saying.
You could even, there's 32 teams, right? You can even add 4 expansion teams. Mm-hmm. Right? You get to 36 teams, and 36 divided by.
You do what? Six division teams, right?
Yeah. Yes, you could do 3. Yes, you could do 6. Yeah, 3 in each league. You'd have to obviously find 4 more cities. That's to pick those. We're not doing that right now, but
that's an off-season thing for us, though. I like where your head's going here.
I've thought about that too, but I just feel like I can't stand the 4-team division. It creates more problems than it solves. And do you remember when the Seattle team had a losing, like a 7-9 Seattle team got to host the Saints, and Marshawn Lynch went off, and the Saints, who had like 12 wins that year, lost in the first round of the playoffs, because they had to go to Seattle in cold, rainy weather, and Marshawn Lynch was incredible. That should not happen. So, all right. But let's talk about the AFC West.
Sure.
The Chargers are 3-0, and they've beaten all of the other teams in the division. While the Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders are all 1-2, we both picked the Broncos to win the division. They have obviously not lived up to expectations, not even close. We both had the Raiders last. Let's be honest. They're going to finish last. I think it's pretty obvious. You're not going to change your mind about that.
No, I'm not.
They look terrible. But, yeah, we don't even talk about that. So after 3 weeks, do you think the Chargers are going to take this division?
I'm still not putting my money on the Chargers because of their starting quarterback. He's just not proven it to me. And to be honest, I don't even like their coach. I probably don't like their coach because, he used to be up there in that awful state
of
Ohio. And we all know he was cheating. So he was,
and that's why he left, because he was going to get in trouble.
Correct. He was going to get run out of town and all of that. Yes. So, he runs to the NFL like a scared little girl. And then, he gets here and all of a sudden he starts winning and everybody thinks he's God again. No, I don't think so. I'm going to predict something like this. Either their quarterback is going to fall apart like he usually does, or the NFL was going to find some kind of cheating scandal with them, and it's just going to knock their season out. I'm not going to
bring back Arthurs. He's going to bring back Kaepernick. he's going to bring back Colin Kaepernick and save the season. No, Justin Herbert has looked amazing. And he's definitely maybe the front runner for MVP right now. He's looked amazing. We'll see if he does it for the whole season. But I'll say this. In the 2 playoff games he has played, he's been terrible. He's 0-2. He looked awful in both playoff games. So he does have a lot to prove. So that is a very good point. Bo Nix of the Broncos. He has struggled mightily. Yes. Although, I'll say this. He was better this past week against the Chargers. He really struggled the first with the Star Wars games. He actually threw 0 touchdown passes the first 4 games last year, and then threw 29 the remaining 13. So he struggled early last year, but he was a rookie. So I get it. But this year he has not looked good. In fact, he is Pro Football Focus, and I have my problems with them, but he's their dead last quarterback, 36 out of 36. He's dead last. So what do you think? Do you think Bo Nix is a sophomore slump, or do you think he turns it around?
This is a really good question. I believe in this sophomore slump. I thought Jaden Daniels would have this too. It's okay. So let me do a comparison here. You're the bigger football guy. I'm the bigger baseball guy, right?
Correct.
So when a new player comes up and they're just beating the cover off the ball, well, then you start watching video on them, and you're like, oh wait, if we do up and in, or if we do a slider down and away, he'll swing through that, and they start to make.
He's just throwing pitches, inside. He'll start throwing them like away, right?
Right, yeah. Absolutely. So they'll start making adjustments, just like the college game when it was Utah and what was that? Texas Tech over the weekend, right? No, it didn't sound right. Who played Utah over the weekend?
Yeah, Texas Tech.
Was it Texas Tech? Okay.
Yep.
So Texas Tech brought the house against that Utah quarterback a lot, something he hadn't seen yet, and he did not handle it well, right? So
some of them were just rushing forward, just getting 2 or 3 guys free because they were just dominant. Their defensive line was incredible in that game.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
So I think they're throwing things at Bo Nix right now. They're mixing up coverages and stuff that he hasn't seen. The question's now going to be, will he be able to adjust back? I think he will, because he's got Sean Payton. Sean Payton's a really good coach. I like him a lot. And I think that will Bo Nix have his sophomore slump here? Yes, but I don't think it'll last the entire season because of Sean Payton. So I will say that the Broncos turn it around. I'm not sure if they can win the division because they're getting themselves in a quick hole here. But I think the Broncos will still make the playoffs.
Okay. You have a whole year's worth of film on Bo Nix, all their opponents, and it kind of happened to C.J. Stroud of the Texans this past year.
Correct.
So, yeah, you can adjust, and you might adjust back. To be honest, I don't know what to do with the Broncos, because I thought their defense, it's been good, but I thought it'd be better. I thought it'd be one of the best defenses in the NFL. When we did our top 10 defenses, top 10, we're going to do that very soon.
Yes.
I had them number 1. I thought they'd do better against the Colts. Colts have a very good offense, but I thought they'd do better against the Chargers as well. And if their defense if it's just like good but not great, then I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Have the Colts punted yet?
They finally punted.
Oh, did they?
Second quarter, the third game, it's an NFL record. Every single team in the history of the NFL punted their first 2 games at least once. 20 drives. The 20th drive, second quarter against the Titans, they finally punted. So
against the Titans. That's the stiff defense of the Titans, huh?
But yeah, the Broncos didn't give up a punt in a game, and that is shocking.
Yes.
So they still almost won it. They should have won it. All right. So I want to talk about defense.
All right.
This stat blew me away. I've noticed that, a lot of defenses seem to be doing well.
Yep. I'm a stat guy. Give it to me. I love it.
Through 3 games, yards per game total is the lowest since 2005. Basically, it's right around the time they started enforcing illegal contact. If you don't know what illegal contact is, you can't touch an offensive player past 5 yards even before the ball's in the air. So it's not pass interference. The ball's in the air, it's pass interference. So you can't just bully a guy. That's what teams were doing. Actually, Bill Belichick and the Patriots were doing it. That's what they were doing. And the NFL started enforcing it. It's been a rule for years. And so, of course, if you can't, put your hands on guys, offenses started, doing better. And the defenses started falling behind. But all of a sudden, defenses are doing better. Do you have a theory to explain this?
I just think we're getting better defensive people. You're getting bigger guys that are stronger, faster. Half of them are probably on some kind of nice banned substance, but they're getting away with it.
I'm sure that happens. Yeah,
I'm sure it does. It's not really a funny thing, but I mean, I'm sure it happens all the time, right? There's ways to get around all of that stuff, and the teams all know how to do it. So, I think that's really all it is. I mean, there was you're going to have to help me with this. Who was which team was it over the weekend where they covered the spread by blocking the kick and then the defensive guy, the Eagles, right? And then he ran it back. He a big old boy. And
Jordan Davis, 335 pounds. Yeah.
Flying down the sidelines for as big as that man is.
He's an athletic freak. He ran like a 4.7 40 at 340 pounds at the combine. He's a freak.
Yeah. So I just think that there's more of or at least there's just as much of an emphasis on the defensive players now as there is the offensive players. I mean, I think all of us love offense. We love to see the ball thrown down 40, 50 yards down the field. And, we love to see the running back just go to the outside and sprint around everybody and do the Derrick Henry, get off my lawn kind of thing and just
the fumble,
push somebody in the ground.
The fumbles is go-to move.
Defenses are getting better.
Yeah. My theory is very similar. I'm going to add to that. I think it has to do with college football. So when you get recruits, right, and you have an athletic guy, say he's 6'3", 6'4", between 230, 250 pounds, you can make him a tight end. That's fine. But I'm making him an edge rusher. Or if he can put on weight, get to 280, 290, and make him a defensive tackle.
Okay.
If you have a freak athlete, you need a disruptor. Edge rusher is more important than ever. I just feel like they changed the game. I watched that Packer game. Myles Garrett changed that game completely. If he doesn't play in the game, Green Bay probably wins by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Like edge rushers, we've seen what Micah Parsons does. Real athletic guys that win quickly change the game. So these college teams are like, well, tight end is fine. We don't need a tight end. Put him in it. He's a lead athlete. Yes, maybe he's Travis Kelce or Antonio Gates or Tony Gonzalez, whatever, but you don't know that. So I think a lot of college programs are making these guys edge rushers. I think they're making, like Jordan Davis, he could have been an offensive guard maybe. 330, 340 pounds. They made him a defensive tackle, a lead athlete. So I think they're making the most athletic players defensive players, and so that's what they end up being in the NFL. So I think offensive line has fallen off, and defensive line's getting better. That is my theory. And we haven't had a really good offensive line draft in probably 4 or 5 years. However, this coming draft is going to be very good for offensive line. So I'm very excited about that. But more on that in 2026.
Well, that's good because my Bengals need some offensive line help.
Oh, this is going to be the best offensive tackle draft probably in 5 or 6 years at least. Really excited about it because I love offensive line. Okay. One last question about this topic. Do you enjoy these defensive low-scoring games, the 16-13 games, maybe even 20-17? Or do you like the games the Ravens always play in where it's just super high scoring?
Yeah, the 1 and 2 Ravens always play.
1 and 2 Ravens, and they give up 38, 40 points every game. What kind of games do you enjoy more?
I mean, I like the shootout as far as that part goes. I'll go back to another college game. I know we've done this 3 or 4 times now, even though we're talking NFL. But when Indiana and Illinois started, I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be a big shootout. They're each going to score 30, 40 points, right? I was excited.
I was too.
And then the defense took over, and I was like, oh. And then, both of us said we clicked away from the game. So I guess we've kind of answered our question with that one game. I would rather see 30 to 50 points by each team than I would 10 to 16.
I just want to mention something that I totally forgot to mention earlier. Next week, we're going to do our Heisman watch.
Yes.
For everyone watching.
First one of the year.
First one of the year. We're going to do a Heisman watch and predict our top 3 Heisman. But I'll just say this. Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback Indiana, will be in my top 3. He has been unbelievable this year. Just throwing it out there. Well, one little spoiler. But we're going to, maybe every 2 or 3 weeks after that, we'll do Heisman watch. So, look out for that. All righty. So, that's all I have for NFL. You ready for the top 10? You have anything else?
Were you going to do the kicker thing or are you not?
Do I not? Oh, okay. There's one more segment I forgot. Okay, my bad.
Okay.
I could have scrolled down.
I had this ready.
I could have scrolled down. Okay, NFL kicks. So, what is going on with these missed kicks? Kickers are not only missing field goals, they're missing extra points. Kicks are getting blocked. Do you think there's enough good kickers? Is that the problem? There's just not enough good kickers in the NFL?
I think that it's the pressure now. The pressure without the pay. We've talked about this 2 or 3 times on this show. You know, you're still in the camp of kickers aren't real football players, and I'm in the camp of we need to pay them better. So if I have a son and I'm going to pick him a position on the football field, right? How many dads are going to look at their sons and say, you're going to be a kicker and you're going to make me millions of dollars and you're going to be able to take care of me for the rest of my life? Zero, right? They're not going to do that. So then therefore we're not
get in there and play linebacker, you little wuss.
Right, exactly. Get in there, play the linebacker, get in there and be the wide receiver. Get in there and be the defensive tackle, right? Get in there and be the quarterback or the running back or all these other choices. I mean, remember ASU last year couldn't even find a kicker. I remember Dillingham coming on saying, if you go to the University of Arizona and you can kick a football, please, dear God, come out and try out.
Multiple teams have done that in the last 20 years. I've seen it multiple times that they have open tryouts. They go to the soccer team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I don't think the NFL's getting the good athletes because they're not paying them enough, and there's tons of pressure on them at the end. I mean, how many of these kickers are just looked down on right now? What the Atlanta kicker that looks like the guy from the White Castle movie? I mean, he just got booted out, and I guess the Giants just picked him up. It's like Wu is his last name or something like that.
Young Koo?
Yeah, something like that, right?
Looks like Harold. Yeah, Harold.
Harold Kumar, right? Yeah.
Well, not Kumar. Kumar's the other guy, but he looks like Harold.
I'm sorry.
He does look like Harold. He actually really does, yes. But, yeah. Do you like White Castle?
I do. I love White Castle.
You love White. I can tell. You can
I
hear
mean, I pretty much love food, but,
Okay.
There's a reason why you can only see me from, like, the chin down, sir.
Okay. Well, I have a theory about the missed kicks.
Okay.
Do you think the kickers are, so many kickers now, pretty much almost every team's kicker can make 60-plus yard kicks. Like 60 is routine now. Like 58 is like nothing. Everyone has the leg for it. Do you think they're so focused on those long kicks? Maybe they practice them so much, the scenarios where you have to try a 65-yarder, 68-yarder, that it's affected their accuracy maybe for shorter kicks?
That's actually not a bad. Yeah, because, I mean, you don't get put on SportsCenter for doing a 30-yard kick.
Yeah, 37-yard field goal from the left hash.
But those are so important, right? Because I heard some people talking about it today. We were actually doing a little bit of I like to do it the day before our podcast. I talk to a lot of the people that I work with, and we have kind of a round robin thing. Okay, what are you guys going to talk about tonight, and all of this kind of thing. And so I'll give them little snippets and previews of stuff. But I think everybody wants to be on TV, and everybody wants to be on the highlight shows, and everybody, so I can certainly see where your point is being taken. I mean, when I make when I'm the kicker for the Cowboys, Aubrey, I can't remember his last name, or maybe Aubrey is his last name.
That is his last name.
That is his last name, where,
Aubrey,
he kicks 60-some yard field goals, right? And it's amazing. I'm not sure if I can kick a 60-yard field goal or not, but
he's really good.
that's the ones that get you on television.
Mm-hmm.
You can make 5 in, between 30 and 40 yards, and none of those 5 are going to be shown. They're just going to be like, and they kicked the field goal, and they're going to move right on to the next play. So, yeah, I can see that, especially in the generation that we have now where everybody's me. That's where TikTok came from, sir.
Yeah, and we saw, I think there were 5 block kicks, 2 in the Rams game this weekend, and we saw the Raiders give up a punt return touchdown, a long kickoff that was almost a touchdown. Do you think they need to spend more time and practice on special teams?
Yeah, I think it's I don't want to say it's just important as the defense and just important as the offense, but it's one of those things that can turn a game around. I mean, we've seen plenty of special teams plays that momentum has swung to the other teams. So it's important enough to put a little more practice in, I think.
I agree. I don't know why special teams, it seems like it's getting worse. But it was the Saints who gave the punt return. It wasn't the Raiders, but 5 blocked kicks, 2 returned for touchdown. I've never seen a week like that. I don't. How hard is it to block a kick? Just create an anchor, just block your guy. But it's crazy. But maybe defense is getting better, offensive line getting worse. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is our NFL segment.
All right, fantastic. I like our NFL segments, buddy.
I do too.
All right, well, let's go to this. We're going to do the top 10 ranking there. We'll go back to, let's see here, our regular screen in the background here.
Before we do this list, I just want to add, this list, it was easy at first, and then it started getting really hard. I don't know if it was for you.
This whole list was hard for me. I thought this was going to be easy, to be honest. I was trying to do this with 10 or 15 minutes left before we went on the air because I was putting it off. I'm putting it off, and I'm like, okay, I'll be able to do that pretty quick. And it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be.
I think our lists are going to be different. I think there's going to be 3 or 4 teams you pick that I don't pick and vice versa. So
they're
this will be fun.
More than likely so.
Okay.
But I will be very interested to see how this list ends up shaping out here.
I'm looking for the poll question too.
Oh yeah, I gotta. Hang on here.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do that at the end?
No, let's tell you what. Let's do that at the end. I'll get all that ready here in just a couple minutes. We will get to that poll question though. Let me see if I can find it quick enough to where I can tell you what it is, and then we will do it after the top 10. Scrolling through, there it is. All right, so we're doing the X marks the sports spot poll question because I just can't call something crazy and plain. By the way, now that I've gone over to Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much. We are number 1 right now as far as podcasts on X. We have the most viewers of any other podcast right now on X that we follow, and we're up to about 7,400 people. So of those 7,400 people, you've made us number 1, and we certainly appreciate it. How many rankings in the AP Top 25 do you have a problem with? I told everybody that I had several. Myself and Football with Cheese will discuss multiple of them, which we have already done. You can go back into our show and get that in our college football segment. So your choices are 1 or 2, 3 to 5, more than 5, or none. And I will tell you before we get to this, nothing has more than 40% of the vote. So it's relatively even still. So it'll be an interesting poll question. So now you guys have a few minutes to go over and vote on it while we do our top 10. All right, Cheese, the top 10, ranking the 1-loss college football teams. I'll go first because I think I'm going to surprise everybody with my number 10. They have just not impressed me very much, and so I put them towards the bottom, and that is Texas. I put Texas at number 10 on my 1-loss teams.
More on them later.
Okay.
So I have University of Virginia. I was between them and Syracuse. Syracuse just beat Clemson, big win. But Virginia scored 29 more points than Syracuse, gave up 32 fewer. They got transferred Chandler Morris, quarterback. I don't know if you remember him. He was really good at TCU, played for North Texas last year. He's been outstanding. They lost to NC State on the road, but they absolutely gave that game away. They should have won. They had the ball, I think, inside the 15 twice in the fourth quarter. Didn't score either time. Lost a close game. And I mentioned it earlier, but Florida State is at Virginia on Friday night. Okay, it's before the Arizona State TCU. That is a trap game for Florida State. They're expected to win. They're favored, but Virginia's, in my opinion, better than people think. I think they can win 7 or 8 games easy. So watch out, Florida State. They should win. They should win easy, but you never know. So I think that's a possible trap game for Florida State.
All right. So who'd you put at number 10?
Virginia. Wahoo.
Okay.
Wahoo wah.
All right, so we are going to have some different ones because I am not going to have Virginia in my top 10.
I didn't think you would.
Yeah, I like it when we do this kind of thing here. So Texas didn't impress me, and this team's not impressed me very much either, but they are in the top 25 still, even though they had one loss. So in my top 10, I put them down towards the bottom. Number 9 for me is Michigan.
I have them higher. Okay, I have them. I get it, though. They have not been very impressive, but I had them higher, and I'll explain why. Sure. Number 9, I have South Florida. So they beat Boise State going away. Probably not as, the score made it look like they just slaughtered them. I think they took advantage of humidity in the second half and turnovers. And then they beat Florida, but it turns out Florida is not very good. So tonight, I still believe in the Reds. I still think the Reds are going to take it. But
we
then,
the Reds, so we're okay.
I would have had South Florida higher, except that they needed to play Miami a little closer. They got blown out. So I originally, when I kind of did the rough draft, I had it 7, but I moved down to 9 just because it wasn't that close.
All right. So more on them later.
Okay, I figured.
All right. So I had Texas at 10. Michigan is at number 9. Even though I think this team has some revenge on their mind this weekend, we're not going this weekend yet. This is the first 4 weeks, right? This is the 5th week of college football. So the first 4 weeks is what we're looking at. I didn't give them any points for that, so I kept them at number 8. Illinois, for me, is my one-loss team at number 8.
More on them later.
Okay.
Number 8, I had Utah. So the loss looks bad. It was at home to Texas Tech. It was like 37-10, I believe, but it was 13-10 with 10 minutes ago. And it was a defensive struggle. Obviously, Devin Dampier did not have the best game. They got a lot of pressure on him. Mm-hmm. But I really like Utah's defense. I like their offensive tackles. Their interior offensive line looked terrible. But I still think they have a good team. So, I have them 8.
All right. So, more on them now. I have Utah at number 7. I'm with you. They had a really bad loss, but it's one loss, and they've looked really good in their wins. So I put them above the one-loss Texas and Michigan and Illinois that I had down at 10, 9, and 8. I put Utah at number 7.
Okay. I have Illinois at 7. You just mentioned them. Luke Altmaier, do you know that he was offered multi-million dollars? The rumor is $3 million from the SEC school. Turned it down because he wanted to honor his commitment to Illinois. I really admire that.
I do too. I didn't know that, but I do admire that.
Yes. I picked him in the playoff. I really thought they would be better than that, but they got slaughtered. But at the same time, it still felt like they're not that bad. Maybe Indiana's not that good. I still think they're going to be fine. Maybe not in the playoff, but I have them 7.
Okay. So just to recap a little here, so I have Texas at 10, Michigan at 9. I've got Illinois at 8, Utah at 7. This was a team that I struggled with as to where to put them, and I settled at number 6. They only have one loss, of course, because as you can tell on the screen, this is us ranking our one-loss college football teams. and their only loss was by 3 points to Iowa State at Iowa State. So I put Iowa here just above Utah at number 6.
I just couldn't put them in the top 10. Iowa's that team that can beat anyone, but also lose to like a 3 or 4 win team.
Yes.
That's who they are. So I just could not put them in the top 10. If I did in the top 15, they would have made it. Number 6 is Michigan. You mentioned them. They can run the ball. They can play defense. They have no passing game whatsoever. They're starting a true freshman quarterback, Bryce Underwood. He threw for 105 yards in a 3-point game against Nebraska. They only won because they got some key defensive plays, and the running game was tremendous.
Yeah, Nebraska couldn't stop the running game.
They could not stop the running game, and Michigan as well. Michigan's going to beat most teams they should, but when they go against good teams, they're going to lose. Yes, I'm calling it. They are going to lose to Ohio State this year. Finally, they will. Bryce Underwood's. He's a true freshman, big time recruit. He's got skills, but their passing game is just not good enough. So I have them at 6.
All right. Again, this is another team. Their only loss was to Oklahoma, and they lost by 7 at Oklahoma. I had a hard time as to where to put this team at, too. We talked about them a little earlier in our college football spread offense segment. So I decided to split the top 10 in half and put Auburn at number 5.
I have Auburn as well at 5, but let me recap. I have at number 10, I have UVA. Number 9, I have South Florida. Number 8, Utah. Number 7, Illinois. Number 6, Michigan. And number 5, yes, I do have Auburn as well. Yeah, they were winning that game in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you watched it. And then Oklahoma kind of took over. But, yeah, Auburn, they're that team that's probably going to be 6-6, 7-5 because of their schedule. But you don't want to play them. I don't want to play them.
No.
And they went against one of the best defenses in the country. Oklahoma's defense is incredible. They had I think 9 or 10 sacks in that game. And they still only lost by 7, despite that. If you told me they had 10 sacks, I would have thought Oklahoma won by 3 touchdowns. So you got to give Auburn credit. Oklahoma's defense is just insane. But yeah, number 5, Auburn.
Okay, absolutely. I believe that this team is on the brink of an offensive breakout. And I know I'm a homer for this team. I've talked about them already. They're a one-loss team. I think they should still be in the top 25. They will be after Friday because I believe they are going to beat TSU.
TCU.
TCU, yes.
Tennessee State. Oh, Tennessee State University? Okay.
There you go. Texas State University. And I believe that they have the best quarterback to number 1 receiver duo in college football. So that was the other reason why I put them where I did. I originally, believe it or not, I had them at 1. And I'm like, nah, I can't do that.
Of course you did.
So I had to drop it down a little bit. I think this is more realistic for them. So I put the Arizona State University Sun Devils at number 4.
I had them at 4 as well. We're going to have 2 of the same top 3. You're going to have South Florida, and I'm going to have a different team. But yeah. Arizona State's my number 4 as well. They lost to Mississippi State. Did you ever go back and watch that game? I think you will.
I have not. I need to. I really do.
Well, no, don't, because you're just going to be depressed and mad. It's one of those games. They were the better team. You could tell they got to a horrible start. I think the night game with the cowbells, SEC environment, 80,000 fans, whatever, got to them. They just started horribly. They weren't in the game. Once they settled down, they played really well. But they had 2 horrible defensive breakdowns. And if they only have 1, they win. It's one of those games that clearly Arizona State was the better team, but that was tough. And Arizona State, they had a really good win against Baylor. So I had them number 4. They're a good team. Jordan Tyson's incredible wide receiver.
Yes, he is. All right. I had to put a note up there because we have forgotten something, and both of us have forgot it. And you just reminded me about it when you were talking. So I'm glad it triggered in my brain. We'll get to it here in just a minute.
On Monday?
Yes, yeah, the
Yes,
Monday.
I was going to bring it up right after the top 10. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. At least both of us are still thinking about it. I figured
I
I'd
did not
write it
forget.
down. Put it up here, I forget again. All right, so like I said, so Texas, Michigan, Illinois, then Utah, then Iowa for me, Auburn, and then ASU at 4. So here are my top 3. I put the team that's just, I put them up here because they're a blue blood. By the way, we are 4 people away from 100 viewers with us live right now, so that's fantastic. Thank you guys very much. We continue to climb in the ratings and stuff like that, and we love you guys, each and every one of you, for it. Even though we're over 2 hours in a podcast, and I don't know, I could, to be honest,
We've done longer shows than this.
Yes, we've had longer shows than this, and the 2 of us could talk for 3 or 4 hours. So, yeah,
I definitely could.
yeah. But if you want us to kind of split some things up, let us know that too, because we thought about it over the week. So we're pondering some stuff. So let us know what you.
We'll see.
Yeah, you just never know.
You never know.
So I put Alabama at number 3, just because they're the blue blood brand, and I thought, I can't put them number 1, but I do have to put them in the top 3. So that's what I did.
I get it. You mentioned Texas earlier. I put them at 3. And the reason, yes, they haven't looked great, but they really have a lot of talent. It's not just Arch Manning. He has looked better. The last game he looked much better. It was like Sam Houston State or something like that. Mm-hmm. Their mechanical issues, I can see now. I ripped Sarkisian, their coach, for playing Quinn Ewers over Arch Manning. I reckon because Quinn Ewers didn't play very well last year, but I get it now. Arch Manning, I don't know. I've never seen a Manning so have bad footwork, just terrible mechanics. I'm shocked with his uncles being who they are, and they're just painting him. He's just so mechanically sound. But even so, they have so much talent on that team, so I could not drop them. I tried to drop them past 3, but I couldn't. So I had Texas at number 3.
Okay. And yes, here's where I'm going to put the feel-good story. I couldn't put them number 1, but they beat 2 ranked teams in the very beginning of the season. And you're right, they did not play Miami very well, but I still had to put them up there because they beat 2 ranked teams. They're my feel-good story. Even though I think Memphis probably has the inside track right now with being that only team from out of the top Power 5 conference that's going to make the playoffs, I'm still crossing my fingers for USF, and I put them at number 2.
They're at Memphis. They play each other in about a month. It's in Memphis. That'll be a humongous game. Can't wait to watch it. We're going to have the same number 1. That makes me happy. Number 2, I have Alabama. You just mentioned. The only thing about Alabama that worries me is, Florida State dominated them on the offensive and defensive line. The back 7 on defense and the wide receivers, running backs of Alabama are great. It's just the lines aren't good, but Ty Simpson has been tremendous. No one is talking about them. He's been probably the most efficient and accurate quarterback in college football, and their receiving core is insane. They have 3 or 4 guys that are first or second round picks on that receiving core. It's that good. So number 2, Alabama.
All right. So
you want to recount your 10 through 2?
Sure. Let's do that because that way I can build up to the number 1 team that you're going to be really happy that I have, because you're going to have the same number 1. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was Texas. I wasn't real impressed with them, so I put them at 10. Michigan, I was really not impressed with either, but a little more than Texas, so I put them at 9. Illinois, they did get blown out, but I think they have, as you said, some really good talent. Utah, I love their quarterback. I just think he had a bad game, and Texas Tech had a really good defensive strategy for them. I put Iowa next at number 6, with their only loss being to Iowa State by 3 points at Iowa State. Auburn was the 5th team for me. Their only loss was to Oklahoma by 7 in Oklahoma. I put the Arizona State Sun Devils at number 4. Can't wait to watch that game this coming Friday against TCU. And Alabama, the Blue Blood, at 3. USF, the feel-good story, at 2. And because they should have beat Georgia and they look good in every other game, if we're going to do our one-loss teams, I think this is the best one, the University of Tennessee.
Yeah. We'll talk about them in a second. I think we had 4, maybe 5 the same, actually. That's crazy. But usually our top 10 lists are nowhere near the same.
Yeah.
Number 10, I had University of Virginia. I think they're very underrated. I think Florida State better watch out this Friday. Number 9, South Florida. You just talked about them. Number 8, Utah. Number 7, I had Illinois. Number 6, Michigan. Well, I thought I was low on Michigan, but I was higher than you. Number 5, I had Auburn. Number 4, Arizona State. Number 3, I had Texas, just because they have a talented roster. Number 2, Alabama. Number 1, I have the University of Tennessee as well. Obviously, they should have beaten Georgia. Just still frustrates me because I am a Vols fan. But let's just talk about Tennessee's schedule. I want to bring them up. I thought I had it pulled up. Okay, here it is. So they do have a loss, and we talked about this. You have to go 10-2. If you go 9-3, like South Carolina, Ole Miss, Alabama last year, you're not going to make it. The committee did not let any of those teams in. So in the SEC, you have to go 10-2. They're at Mississippi State. They could lose. You never know. And then they're Arkansas at home. Same thing. Arkansas could be tough, but probably win those games. Then they're at Alabama. Then at Kentucky, Oklahoma at home. Okay? Doesn't sound easy, but they're getting favored in at least 4 of the 5 of them. Even if they come away with a loss in those 5 games, once again, at Mississippi State, Arkansas at home, at Alabama, at Kentucky, never easy to play at Kentucky, and then Oklahoma at home. If they somehow only lose one of them, their last 3 games are New Mexico at home, at Florida, who's terrible, they're going to be favored in that game, and Vanderbilt, who's pretty good, but it's at home. So I'm looking at one of the easier SEC schedules. So if they beat Georgia, they'd be in the driver's seat. But even so, I still think they're ranked 15th. They should be ranked higher because I still think they're a very good team.
All right. So that is our top 10 rankings for our 1-loss teams. I like that exercise. We kind of came up with that at the end. If any of you guys,
that was your idea.
Yes, cool. Yes. I don't have very good ideas, but every once in a while, even a blind squirrel finds it nuts.
The last couple top 10s have been my ideas. This was yours. That was good.
All right.
And if you have any suggestions for a top 10, leave them in the comments.
Absolutely. Come over to our X page at All Sports Off SM for sports media. That's our new X handle. Come over there and see us. You can get a lot of good content on there right now. We got a lot of stuff up. I'll be talking about some things later on in the week when I do my Seeing the Whole Field. Got a thing from Kate Horton on there about how if you I can't remember the exact line he says, but if you play for a team, then your individual accolades will come. I mean, I was clapping when he was saying that. Got some great stuff on there from Brewers coach Pat Murphy. Some great quotes from a lot of other people as well. So come on over to our X page and see it, be able to read it and interact with everything that we were doing. And not only this, but I debuted the first episode talking about Charlie Kirk, and I challenged some people at the end. Go watch the 11-minute video. Like I said, I was pretty proud of that one. So go see it. We'll do some more later on this week. Cheese, I know you have the X account too. Where can they get you, buddy?
Yeah. On X, it's at Football Cheese, and cheese is spelled like Cheez-It, Cheez. So go follow me there, and follow me on YouTube at Football with Cheese. Same thing but with in there. And I cover college football, NFL, and big focus on the NFL draft, which me and Mike will talk a lot about in spring of 2026.
Absolutely. All right, so we have kept it. We keep mentioning it. But we've never actually said what's going to happen on Monday night. We're going to try something for the first time on Monday night. We're going to do this together, and we're going to do it with each and every one of you guys. We want to do something to where, like, if you have to work on Monday night and you can't get to a television, but yet you've got a computer, you're sitting behind a desk, and you're always like me, like on Thursday nights when I work, I'm like, man, I wish I could find something where I could get football. Tell them, Cheese, what are we going to do on Monday night?
So if you have ever watched the Manning cast on Monday night, so I don't like Troy Aikman or Joe Buck. They suck. They're just terrible. Troy Aikman especially. And so I like to watch the Manning cast because like they just kind of shoot the shit and they, they give much better analysis. They're like two brothers talking. We're going to do that. We're going to.
We're not two brothers though, just so you all know.
Right. Yes. Yeah. But if we were, I'm the good-looking one. But
absolutely,
it's basically a watch along. We're gonna watch the game and we're gonna talk about it live. So you just watch the game, mute your TV. You don't have to like listen to Aikman or a Buck. And Manningcast is not doing it that week, so obviously we'll fill in for the Mannings.
There you go.
I got to be Peyton. You're Eli.
I'm all right with that.
So we're not gonna do the Jets Dolphins. No way. There's two games at night. There's the Jets Dolphins, the early game. We're gonna do the Broncos and Bengals, and we're gonna do a watch along, and we're gonna comment on the game. So make sure you watch the game, but mute your TV and check us out on Lights Out Sports.
Right, we'll be on the same stuff that we are right now. It'll be my personal Facebook because we haven't got our Facebook put together quite yet for the All Gloves Off sports media site, so we will get that done soon. If we get it by then, we'll make sure we're on that one as well. We will be on our YouTube channel for All Gloves Off sports media. We'll be on that one. We'll be on the X account here for Lights Out Sports and All Gloves Off sports media. It's a lot to say, like 5 or 6 times in a row. And then, of course, we will be on Cheese's X account as well. So lots of different places that you can find us. Just get yourself to a computer if you're at work. Let's make the work day go by faster, or the work night go by a little faster with Cheese and the Cleat Geek. You guys will be able to do all that Monday night as the Bengals are in Denver with the Broncos.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. How many of us are going to be there? Do you know?
So far, but I haven't talked to anybody else yet, so I don't know if anybody else is going to want to. They're more than happy to, more than welcome to, but I don't know. We'll get to that in a little bit. That way, we at least know it's going to be the two of us. Now, we've got Sirhan, we've got. You know what? Let me do this real fast. I'll click on this here for a second and plug everybody real fast. So
we got some Bengals fans in our group.
Yeah, we got the Red Hot Reds that come on with us. We're going to do this with there's football with Cheese. We're going to do that is you, buddy. We're going to do sports with Sirhan, and of course, all of us are going to be welcome. Come on with Lights Out Sports, myself and Cheese. And do that. That'll be fantastic on Monday night as the Bengals and Broncos play Monday Night Football right here on everything that you see right now. We appreciate each and every one of you guys for being with us live still, even though we're rambling a little at the end. We're okay. We're going to be just fine. Cheese, anything else you want to ramble about at the end, buddy?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good. All right. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we certainly appreciate it, and thank you for everything that you are doing with us, being with us here. And I'll pause this music in the background because we're going to advertise everything at the end as well. We have what is called in the world an outro, and we're going to go ahead and play that for you right now as soon as we tell you that the only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base lines. Good evening, everyone.